There we go. And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, sorry, I got a bit of a frog in my throat. It's Friday afternoon. Today is May the 29th. It is 2:00 here on the Pacific Coast, and welcome to my show. I'm Dr. Kip Davis. I'm a specialist in the Dead Sea Scrolls and early Judaism. Sorry, yes, I do those things, and I'm a Hebrew Bible scholar. And I like to talk a lot about the Bible. So that's what we do here. So welcome to my show. I'm joined today by my lovely co-host Ryan Coltastic. How you doing, Ryan?
Vish stand-in.
The Vish stand-in. That's right.
Doing my best.
Vish, I think we'll be back next week. If I maybe Tad has just given up on me altogether and is too frustrated, but I would announce to you, Tad, that she'll be back next week probably. So yeah, she's out of town today, so here we are and
doing Vish things, enjoying herself, I hope.
I think so, yeah. So, and I'm excited today because we have a special guest, and this is a departure for me. Doc Dino, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, we've been having some. We've been having some audio issues, so I hope everybody can hear Doc Dino okay. So how this happened, like this I think you're the first paleontologist, or how would you can describe yourself in a minute. You're the first paleontological whatever that I've had on my show.
Person who talks dinosaurs.
That's it. You're the first. You're the first of those I've ever had on my show. You have been on several times. Maya Atkinson's show at Bad Science Sundays, which is a show that I watch religiously, and she actually suggested that we should do something like this, and I thought that's a great idea. So excuse me. Maya connected us, and here we are, because like it or not, there's a lot of people who seem to think that the Bible has an awful lot to do with dinosaurs. So
yeah,
and I think you probably encounter that. So Doc Dino, do you maybe wanna let us know who you are and what you do here on YouTube, and maybe what we're doing here today?
Sure, I can do that. Well, hello to everyone out there. I am Dr. Deinonychus, or Doc Dino for short. If my name sounds familiar, that's probably because it is a parody of Kent Hovind's moniker. I am not actually a doctor. It's entirely a stage name for me. Though I know he does claim to be one with several doctorates. Anyway, I am obsessed with dinosaurs and rocks. I have a bachelor's degree in geology, hoping to go for my master's sometime soon, but funding is a little tight in my field right now. But I do have quite a bit of experience hunting for fossils. I know a ton about dinosaurs, and I could talk your ear off for literal days about geology. I also thought I'd come with some props for the lovely audience to enjoy. So this is a little Deinonychus.
Who doesn't like props? Oh, look at that.
It's a very beautiful one, styled after a hawk, which I love. He joined for our last Bad Science Sunday. Whoop. I do also have some fossils here, if anyone would like to see those.
Wow, see, this is what we're here for. That's
I like old things.
Yes, well, me too.
Here's an Ice Age bison tooth that I found in a creek a few miles from my house.
Ice Age.
Freaking huge.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they've got a few of these stacked in their mouths little bigger than our molars.
Oh my god.
Just a little bit. But then again, bisons are gigantic. Anybody who's actually been up and close to a bison, it's overwhelming how huge these things are.
And Ice Age bison were massive.
Even
there's
bigger.
one that's commonly called the longhorn bison. They could have horns. The cores are up to 3 feet long. So the actual horn could probably be 4 or 5 feet on each side of its head.
Wow.
Massive.
That's crazy.
If plants are more your speed, I've also got petrified wood, which, again, found just a couple miles from my house. And if, I don't know, for some reason you might like dinosaurs, got a little vertebra here.
Oh wow.
Oh.
This comes from
that?
a sauropod, so a long-necked dinosaur that I found on a ranch in Wyoming.
Wow.
That's
This
amazing.
is from the tip of the
That
tail
is
too. It's
incredible.
big. But yeah, I find bones. And hopefully someday I'll get to teach people about them professionally. For now, it's just a side gig.
Excellent. Wow. Thanks so much for bringing the props.
Show and
honestly.
tell. Who doesn't like show and tell?
Yeah, who doesn't like that? And for being here. So there's a bunch of people here though. I wondered if I should go through the roll call. Plated Lizard is here. Is never here. Is here. Good to see you guys. Victoria Macarios is here. Kinetic 44 is here. Yes, we're talking. This is right in line with what's going on today. We're going to talk about Behemoth and probably sauropods, I'm guessing. Well, that's likely to come up. Bitcores is here. Allegedly, Fred is here. Elira the Free. Oh wow, and this is truly an honor because I know how late it is out where Elira is. So thank you for tuning in. Steve Weber is here, and the weirdo Rock Hyrex Evan is here, as is Holly, and brand new budding Hebraist Katie Lewis is here. She is one of my brand new Hebrew students. One of my current budding Hebraists, Brixie Purple, is here, and Hypatia, and Deviant Outcast is here, and so is Guard, who is also part of the new crew of Hebraists. So wow, yeah, lots of people. Oh, Ember's here. Good to see you, Ember. And lots of Oma Susan is here. The cuneiform guy is here. So Maya is here. It's great that everyone showed up, and we're gonna have some fun today, doing something maybe a little bit different from what I'm used to. We're still gonna spend lots of time talking about the Bible because around here that's how this works. Is I fucking love the Bible. I even had it emblazoned on a shirt that you can purchase in my store if you so choose. And so we're gonna do that. But I ventured against that. Doc Dino fucking loves dinosaurs, and we're going to see what happens when we cross these streams. It's gonna be great, right?
Because one thing I've learned about young Earth creationists, they are obsessed with dinosaurs, almost as much as I am.
Yeah,
they seem to have this weird understanding that if there are living dinosaurs, evolution must be false. Which, one, birds exist, and two, no. That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
But it's not how it works.
I don't know. Can't trust that.
Not at all. So I think you'll discover too, young Earth creationists also or at least they pretend to fucking love the Bible. I don't think that. I think it's mostly from a lack of understanding. So Demon Outcast says, can you just take Can you just take fossils you find in the U.S.? Our Antiquities Act makes it illegal to pick up finds without reporting them to the authorities for assessment.
So that depends completely on where you are. In the U.S., it varies state to state. But generally speaking, if you're on private land, you can usually collect fossils. If you're on public land, you cannot. You have to report it. I found the fossil I showed on private land. Well, fossils I showed, I found them on private land, so I got to take them. But always look at your local rock hounding laws, or if you have any doubt, just call the courthouse and ask. Better to be safe than sorry. It's always legal to look. Just make sure it's legal to take where you are.
Good.
Awesome.
Also, they don't usually care about invertebrates or plants, so petrified wood is almost always free to take.
Thank you.
We got
Olivia.
a super chat from Olivia Williams, Purple Fairy, for $6.99 Canadian. I'd say the YEC view the Bible. I'd say YEC's Young Earth creationists view the Bible as an idol. They don't actually read it. Yes, agreed.
It's a tool.
So it's like, and here, I mean, we could have an interesting conversation about the difference between love and infatuation, or obsession, I guess. And I think these are appropriate metaphors for understanding the difference between what I do and what a young Earth creationist might do. But yeah, no, it's an excellent point. Thank you for that. And Alira the Free has become a new channel member. So welcome. And she's very excited about the fact that my members are the Metal Lords. So there we go. Excellent. Cool.
I was going to say your intro music reminded me of like Death Clock.
Really? That one,
Yeah.
the one I did today was gifted to me from a fan of the show. I'm trying to remember the name of the group, and I can't offhand because my memory is terrible. I'm an old man, and I forget more things than I care to admit these days. So sorry about that. But yeah, no, we love the metal around here, a lot of us. So Dr. Hisashi said it best. Fundies don't love the Bible. They only love the idea of the Bible. Yep. I think that's very much on point. So cool.
Valid.
Well, yeah, we should probably get into what we're doing here. So when Doc Dino and I were talking about what to do and how to plan this show, he actually just sent me a video of notorious, terrible young Earth creationist Jason Lyle, who I am familiar with just by kind of being in the space and noticing what's going on at Answers in Genesis and what he does. Maybe you know a little bit more about him than I do. Is he still at AIG? Do you know, or
are you asking me or?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard his name before. I don't actually know anything about the man, but I can check.
Oh yeah, we could do that, but it's probably not especially important. So, but
he's
yes,
an astrophysicist.
Yeah.
Wait,
wild, right? Yes. So because at no point in this video does he ever talk about astronomy or astrophysics or physics or at least not that I can recall. I do know an astrophysicist, by the way, a certain trench coat full of weasels who is also one of my co-hosts over on Budget Scripture Saturday. So Alira said something about
isn't he?
no, not here. He's not.
Ah, Oh, I see.
Not at all. That is just not no. So I yes, I I tease. Alira noticed the hat here too.
Top
Which is
tier.
very cool. Yeah.
Thank you. I picked it up at a department store in Wyoming. This is my actual field hat. I've worn it out in the desert hunting for fossils many times. And I like to put little pins on it for my adventures.
Wow,
I got a
cool.
couple dinosaurs and just some pins for my travels.
It's a good idea.
Excellent.
I
Even
like
comes
that
with
idea.
a little chin strap for when it's windy out.
I imagine it does get windy sometimes.
Oh yes.
I have a
Mostly
sombrero.
Sorry. Sombreros are nice. I didn't
and
want
it's
it to be
got
too
the
wide brimmed.
right. So, but yeah, I've noticed that I absolutely need that chin strap, because otherwise I would lose that hat.
I always lose my hat.
If you don't have one on you, just use a shoelace with bobby pins. Same thing.
Awesome. Excellent. So
MacGyver, man.
So MacGyver that shit.
Paper
So
clip
all right,
and
so
everything, you're all
When
right.
you're in the desert, sometimes you got them.
all right, so we're going to watch this this video that Doc Dino found and said, hey, maybe we could look at this. This looks like it could cover all the, and it really does. It's not I mean, there's lots of terrible young earth creationists out there, and I assume they're all just like Jason Lyle, but we figured this was this was a good place to go to talk about the Bible and to talk about dinosaurs and why they're not what you think they are, young earth creationists. And the way you're reading the Bible to try and understand their place in there is just, it's just no good. So here I like to make my own. This is not what the actual video was called, and I didn't include a link to the original, because seriously, I mean, nobody needs to go and watch this bullshit. They don't. This is why I'm here. I watch this stuff, so you don't have to. But I thought an appropriate title for this was that Jason Lyle gets everything wrong, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here. It's a chore to imagine things that he's actually got right in this presentation that he makes. I don't know. Am I being unfair, Dr.
I was aghast.
You, Ryan was aghast.
Yeah, I was, and I'm not even that well informed.
Yeah, he gets just about every claim wrong. All of his infographics are either like 3 decades old or just complete fantasies. It's a weird combination. And all this dino art is subpar at best. I'm going to be very judgy about that, because there's tons of great paleo art.
It's inexcusable to have bad art at this point, sir.
Yes.
All right, you want me to start this up, Dr.
Yeah,
Kip?
let's start this and maybe make it full screen too, I think.
We were considering 1.25 speed, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have it on 1.25.
It's pretty long, so we'll probably not get through the whole thing, but we'll cover a bunch of it today, and I'm sure that there's lots that we can talk about here.
The Bible lets you see what is there. You can think of it as biblical reality glasses, and so it's going to give you the true history of the universe, because that's what it is, and it's going to help us to understand the world in which we live today. So let's put on those biblical reality glasses and just reason from the scriptures and see what we can conclude about dinosaurs.
Sorry, Brian, we have to pause it because Ryan has put on her biblical reality glasses.
Well, yeah, because this sounds really cool. I'm plugged in now. I'm like in the matrix here. So
you've got yourself
3D.
You got yourself like your USB-A cable to connect to your King James version of the Bible.
Yes, it's all loaded in here. You see,
Excellent.
it's that new
Excellent.
age stuff.
Mine aren't as extravagant, but I have my glasses too.
Mine are on my head.
Ah,
That's a good place for
Directly
them.
in
Maybe on their face.
Oh.
Okay.
True, because it's God's word. So, for example, we can conclude that dinosaurs were made on day 6 of the creation week. Now, how do we know that? Because according to Scripture, everything that creeps on the earth, all land animals, were made on day 6.
Oh.
And dinosaurs, by definition, are land animals, right? So this is just a very
Oh.
basic form of logic. This is a simple syllogism. We have dinosaurs are land animals. According to Scripture, land animals and people, for that matter, were made on day 6. Therefore, dinosaurs were made on day 6. So you see, this is just basic logic. So
Basic logic,
they
right?
were land animals
You pause it
made on
for
day
a
6, which
second.
means they're not millions of years old.
I mean, that's
and they
true
did.
for all the ones that, well, it's true for them, except all the ones that aren't.
How do you what is that the definition of are dinosaurs land animals? That's what he said. That's what dinosaurs are. They're land animals.
Only.
Ancestrally speaking, they are land animals. But, well, first off, many of them evolved to fly. We have evidence that flight might have evolved several times independently in different lineages
Oh,
of dinosaurs. And, of course, there's all the aquatic ones, like, well, penguins for one, but also spinosaurids, so animals like Spinosaurus. We keep finding out that they were more and more aquatically adapted. So they were semi-aquatic at least. So there's plenty that towed the line between the between the sky and the water.
Wow. Well,
I just love that logic. Like where he was
right.
He was like, well, day 6 is when like the humans and the land animals were created. So bingo bango, therefore, like obviously dinosaurs were made on the 6th day. So that was really good. That's smart.
That's it,
These
right?
glasses help.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys need to get yourself a pair.
All right.
Help.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Live at the same time as human beings, despite what you see in just about every movie that you've ever seen on dinosaurs, and every textbook you've ever read on the topic, and every public school class that you've taken on this topic. They're not millions of years old. They did live alongside people. That bothers people because we know how dangerous dinosaurs are from movies like Jurassic Park, right? And so that's not a good idea. But remember, when God originally made the world, it was very good. And that means all the creatures were very good. And so we don't often see depictions of the Garden of Eden with dinosaurs in it, but Adam and Eve would have seen them. They would have known about these creatures. And they would have been peaceful creatures originally, before sin entered the world.
Hold on.
There's another way you could know that.
Very peaceful.
And whenever you need to stop the video, Doc Dino, just let us know.
Sorry, I'll raise my hand.
holler.
I was just going to say that Triceratops is tortured in the back there. I don't know what's going on with his face.
Oh, poor guy. Oh. Well,
Wow.
it's interesting to me that they're happy enough to take the renderings, like scientific renderings, like drawings of the dinosaurs, but that's kind of it. The rest are like, bah.
So, I think, I mean, right away on the basis of what he said, I would just like to point out that no, we know that there actually were not dinosaurs in the Garden of Eden, because that's fucking insane. If you actually sit down and I just wish people would learn how to read. All you have to do is sit down and just read. Just read the story. Genesis chapter 2 is one of 2 stories of creation at the beginning of the Bible there in Genesis. There's some other traditions too scattered throughout, but these are the 2 like relatively complete stories of creation, right? And I mean, I guess I probably spoke a little too quickly, but like in Genesis 2:18 and 19, it says that Yahweh God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." So the man is already there in the garden, technically the garden of God that is east of Eden. I will make a fitting helper for him. And Yahweh God formed out of the earth all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that would be his name. And the man gave names to all the cattle and to the birds of the sky and all the wild animals. So it just yeah, I mean, there were dinosaurs in the Garden of Eden, in so much as we understand the term applied to I suppose the evolution of arthropods, right? Because this is it's just a story, and the person who wrote this story was just imagining the world that they understood and they knew, which was filled with like cows and birds and like lizards and snakes and things of that nature. Nothing that is in this picture resembles anything in the Book of Genesis. It just doesn't.
Oh, brother.
Olivia Williams, Purple Fairy, for another $6.99 Canadian. Thank you very much. Checking before it gets spoiled. Behemoth likely means something like Arok, and Leviathan is a chaos dragon like Tiamat, right? Yes. And we will certainly get to that. If you have to run, you'll have to check back later. But yeah, we will discover that the things in the Book of Job that that this guy wants to talk about as examples of living dinosaurs are actually like mythological creatures. They're mythic. It's pretty cool, actually, in my estimation.
I will say I've heard a lot of YEC. Well, I've seen a lot of people refuting like YEC claims about behemoths before. I've never heard like someone interpret behemoth to be an auroch. I've never heard that interpretation before. I usually hear most often elephant, sometimes rhino, sometimes hippo. Those are the ones I've heard.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm just double checking here what an auroch is. Right. Yeah. So, I will say, yeah. I would say that, and here's the kind of the disconnect here is, and we'll get there. Behemoth is like not just like a big cow, but like a mythic cosmic cow is a better way to understand. And this is part of why it's hard to align this creature with precisely with any known animal, like actual animal, because in the same sense that Leviathan is a chaos monster of the sea, the Behemoth is like the land version. It's like a chaos monster of the land, right? And this is reflective of much of what we see in Canaanite literature and mythology and things of that nature. So what your pastor didn't tell you points out that aurochs is very common among scholarly views on the cow on this topic. The super cow. Exactly.
Super cow.
Thank you. Good to see you, Zach. So yeah. All right.
There's something I love about the word auroch. Like it's just fun to say.
It's a fun word.
Sounds really cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
That these dinosaur fossils are not millions of years old, and that's because death entered the world when Adam sinned. Okay, and that's not millions of years ago. Human beings, we all agree, are recent. Human beings don't go back 100 million years, and so death entered the world as a result of Adam's sin. So when you see a dinosaur fossil, you need to think that happened sometime after Adam sinned. And was there an event that would kill a lot of creatures and bury them in sediment very quickly? Yeah, the worldwide flood would do that. We think most dinosaur fossils, maybe even all of them, are from the worldwide flood.
Did you?
So it's after, but it has to be.
Pause the video.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
So I've heard young Earth creationists say this before, that death wasn't a thing before Adam sinned. Does this hold up biblically? at all?
Not
Like, I know they were
at
cursed to death,
all.
but
Not at all. In fact, I mean, it's complicated, right? Because again, I'll point out there what often happens is the conflation of these two stories, these two separate stories of creation in Genesis 1 and then Genesis 2, 3, and continuing into 4. But in neither one is there any indication that there was no death prior to what some readers will identify as sin, which I will also point out is not a thing in either of those creation stories. If you do a word search for any of the words for sin or transgression or wrongdoing that are used commonly throughout the Bible, you're not going to find them in Genesis 2 because that's not what this story is about. This idea comes from later Jewish interpreters of these texts a little bit, but most especially we see it in the writings of the Apostle Paul. Christian writings start to read this story in a different way than it was first intended. So that's not what's going on here. What the other thing that we see in the second story is that death is certainly an issue, but it is because when trying to protect his property, the garden, God has to tell a lie to the man, because there's these two magical trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And what God knows is that when the man eats of both the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, he will become a god. And he doesn't want that to happen. So he tells a lie and says, you can eat from any tree of the garden that you want, except for this one. He doesn't even mention the tree of life. He says you can't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil because on the day you eat of it, you're going to die, which is a lie. And we know it's a lie because it doesn't happen. We know it's a lie because the snake tells the woman that's wrong. You're not going to die when you eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden. You're actually going to have your eyes open and you're going to be like gods, which is what happens. So, but of course, because you can't have a God who's telling lies in this particular theological model, because you can't have any sort of error or implication of wrong coming out of the text, you have to do all these gymnastics to figure out how to make that work in your retelling of the story. So
okay. And this is one of those gymnastics flips. Okay.
absolutely. It's it is kind of interesting too how much people don't read carefully, because for like you'll see this framed so often that the snake in the garden is a liar,
Yeah.
right?
But it's not a lie. So I don't understand where they're getting that from, other than it's
Right?
been what's been poured into them for so long.
Mhm.
Yes, it's
They see
almost
it.
like the craziest gaslightingest way of bait and switching what's actually going on there in a way to just it's almost it's a form of projection.
The snake
You
tells the
know,
truth, they call it a liar.
yes, exactly. All
It's kind
right,
of
but
like
I
what they
think we
do with
can.
scientists.
They do that too.
It also, like, Romans 5, is it 5 or 8? It's the one, whatever, where it says that because Adam sinned, all, like, human sin, and therefore, like, death
Yeah.
through sin, yada yada. But it does not mention animals. But he's just saying, oh, well, that's when the dinosaurs had to have died after Adam sinned, because that's when things weren't good. Because before that, everything was good.
Exactly.
There's that logic again.
So, And that too, just that point about everything being good and then everything being not good is part of this conflation of these two separate stories. Because that's a feature in the Genesis 1 story, that all of creation is it's the continued pronouncement, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then, when the humans are created, it's very good. Some scholars will say this is a later story, and that's actually kind of written in a way responding to that second story in Genesis chapter 2, because the only point where that word is used in Genesis chapter 2, God is saying it's not good. It's not good that the man is alone. We have to make a helper for him. So it's just all sorts of problems with
many.
with reading the text together. I've got something for that here. You can't read the Bible like this, y'all.
Univocal voice.
You can't
But
do
Genesis and Romans is univocal. I can't even say it like he said it.
that. He says it weird, right? Let's be
weird.
clear on that. It's a weird way.
I say univocal, so I can't even say it how he said it. I don't know.
Univocal. Have you heard that term before?
Never.
So that's a word that my friend Dan McClellan likes to use all the time. Is a public-facing
Yes, he does use that
scholar.
one.
So and I'm not entirely sure if that's one that he picked up, or if he picked it up from someone else. But basically, the idea that the text of the Bible are univocal is the idea that it's all just this completely harmonious, unified collection. Is it told unicordially? So it's this idea that there's this perfect consistency throughout all the Bible, which is just not the case. The Bible is a collection of many different, very diverse, often contradictory individual texts. It's a collection. It's a library. These are sacred texts that people found important and significant, and it didn't matter to them, even like if they were in disagreement or disharmony with each other. That wasn't the point. They were useful for different things. So this idea came much later, that you can just read the Bible as this really consistent, harmonious story, as if it has a univocal voice. So
Just say one voice, gosh.
One voice. It's many voices, actually.
Oh goodness.
So, but we're unfortunately going to have to
Catherine.
continue listening to Jason Lyle's voice now.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Can't be before that, which means they can't be millions of years old.
Oops.
Fossils don't come with labels telling how old
That's
they
all
are,
right.
right? You might have seen a fossil in a museum with a label giving all this information, telling how old it is. They didn't come that way.
What?
Those labels were attached by someone who was not around when the fossil formed and therefore does not actually know how old it is. And I'm happy to talk about things like radiometric dating. We can do that, but that doesn't really prove the age of something. It's a way of making a guess about the age of certain rocks, and they don't use it on fossils anyway. They use it on rocks that are surrounding. But in any case.
Okay.
All right.
He calls it a guess because he doesn't understand it. You want me to give a really short version of how we date fossils?
I would love that. Yes, please.
Okay. So there are a few different ways we date fossils. The most exact method is radiometric dating, where you take a piece, for a bit of background, depending on where you are in the world, it's harder to see this, but rock layers are stacked on top of each other, kind of like pancakes. It's never uniform, but it's usually like this. So they're stacked on top of each other, up and up and up. If you find a fossil in this layer, it's probably sedimentary rock, and you can't really date that. So what you do is you look for volcanic rock above it, because rocks stack on top of each other. If it's above your fossil, it's probably younger. And you use that to bracket. So let's say I find a T-Rex fossil here. than a volcanic rock layer here. If the volcanic rock tests as being 60 million years old, the fossil has to be older. Then I go below. I find a volcanic rock layer that's 70 million years old. And so the fossil is between 60 and 70 million years because it's between those layers. Rock layers, they can move a bit, but it's usually pretty obvious when they have. And they don't really move large distances unless you're like mountain building, which is a very specific circumstance. But if you do this enough times, like you keep finding T-Rexes that are between 60 and 70 million years old, and you find that every single time you test it, and like you do this over dozens or hundreds of times, you start to get an idea that T-Rexes only really live near this or in this really narrow band of time. And when you go out in the field in the future, you can use a T-Rex fossil you find as a way to guesstimate about how old that rock might be. It's tentative, but you can do it. So if you go out in the middle of nowhere and you find a T-Rex fossil, it's probably between 60 and 70 million years in age. And you can do that with multiple species in the same rock, because different species will have different ranges, and you can overlap those ranges. That's called biostratigraphy. And like I said, it's a more tentative method than radiometric dating, but you can do it. And those are some of the more common methods we use to date fossils. Radiometric dating is solid. Biostratigraphy has some wiggle room. But if you incorporate like dozens of species or hundreds of species, like I've seen in some studies, it can get pretty exact, which is kind of neat.
But I think too, I mean, an important point here is that you're not just like I'm assuming here that it's a combination of different methods, right? You don't just use one method for dating. Right. I understand this a little bit in my field. Doc Dino, I'm a manuscript specialist, and that's one of the things that, like, one of the very, very important things we do is date manuscripts. The most common way to do that, or the most reliable way to do that, I should say, is through carbon-14 dating, where it's combustible, it's destructive, it's done extremely rarely for that reason. Because you don't want to actually just destroy. Oh wow! Thank you very much. Elira the Free has gifted 20 Kip Davis memberships. Please, welcome to all my new channel members, and thank you very much for your generosity. I got one. Elira. Did you? Woohoo! Yeah. Did. So so the most common way of dating manuscripts is through the handwriting. It's less reliable, but it's non-destructive, and it generally works quite well. At points in time when we need to calibrate our handwriting styles to actual hard dates, you will do other things like radiocarbon dating. And I think that's probably what I think that's part of what he's communicating here too, right? He's trying to convey the misinformation about radiocarbon dating. Is that part of this too?
Probably. Like the thing with carbon dating specifically, which is a subset of radiometric dating, is you have to be very careful with it, because carbon-14 levels fluctuate with certain events going on around the world. So you need to, I don't know all the things you have to do, but I know you have to be really careful with it. It can still be used, but you got to be careful. Other forms of radiometric dating don't have those issues. One of the most common ways to date volcanic rocks is using zircons. Zircons are these crystals, usually this size, though they can be about the size of a grain of sand, that are super durable. They are almost chemically inert. They react with almost nothing, except like super strong acids. And they're just resilient. So they act as a little time capsule when they form, because they trap 2 different isotopes of uranium and potassium. So if you have 1 zircon crystal, you have 3 methods of radiometric dating you can use and cross corroborate between them to make sure you're accurate. And not only that, we usually like do these in bulk. Like one radiometric dating study will use hundreds of zircons collected throughout a volcanic rock layer to get their testing. And it's pretty
Wow.
exact.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
I know
the good thing about these layers is they're usually spread over a super wide area. So you can literally
Yeah.
walk along a hillside following the layer. And it's just a dividing line for fossils above and below. And a lot of fossil bearing rock formations are littered with tens to dozens of these volcanic layers, too. Like it all overlaps.
The JWs, just kind of how like he said it as if it's like a throwaway, like it's not even something to cover because it's just so trash, like this way of scientific dating. And the JWs did that same exact thing. Like when I brought up like the whole, because I love dinosaurs, you know, what kid doesn't? And yeah, they really rot your brain with that. Oh, well, that dating is just, it's not even exact. So why don't you trust the Bible? Why don't you trust God more? So it's just like, they don't even want to talk about it because they know if they really explained it like you just did, that it would make complete sense. Like the way you explain it's like, oh, that's actually really cool that they can get as close as they do.
Yeah, here's the thing with science, and this goes for every field. We want to know why things happen, and we go through into exhaustive detail. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these
When you
guys will make
can.
it sound like science is an ivory pillar. Like you cannot question it. The words come from on high. Maybe at one point that was the case, but genuinely, email a scientist who studies something you're curious about. They'll give you all their papers for free, and they won't stop talking about their interests. Like we love getting questions. We love it.
When somebody's a geek about
Exactly.
geeked out about something, like, you know, I consider myself like I get geeked out just like you do, Dr. Kip, obviously get geeked out about the Bible. Like, just let's talk about it, please. Yes, ask me a question.
Yes, please. Exactly. No, it's an excellent point. I mean, so much of this is just wrapped up in anti-intellectualism and in just a really adversarial stance or approach taken to scholarship generally, right? Which is very common in a lot of these circles.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
I have like conspiracy theory about that, but I don't know if you want to get into that right now.
Maybe not. We should probably try and plow through some more of this.
We've only gotten through 2 minutes.
Like 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes, right?
We're trying.
Sense. Now, animals have changed a bit since creation. There's no doubt about that. And usually not for the better. The same is true of dinosaurs. There are certain kinds that God created, and they've diversified within their kind, but they remain the same kinds. And the fossil evidence confirms that. This is a chart from an evolution-based textbook showing the alleged evolution of dinosaurs. And so that's,
I love this.
So the thing about, I'm happy to talk about things like radiometric dating, and they did live at the same time as humans.
Whoopsie.
We went. Let's see.
Baby. Oh wait, that's right. We were.
Do you need a timestamp? Yeah, we were on that chart. He talks about that chart for a little while. I think it's important.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So, this part's funny.
The way
this
that he
chart is so old.
And the way that he explains it, I know I know you probably in your head were just like, Scream.
Well,
Yeah,
let's listen
I'm
to
just
him.
looking at the names on the left. There's so many defunct groups. I don't know how old this is.
Should we listen
here.
to him talk about it a little bit, and then you can tell us about the chart, Doc Dino.
Okay, I think we have to go a little bit.
Say from an evolution-based textbook showing the alleged evolution of dinosaurs. And so the thing at the bottom, number one, that's supposed to be a thecodont ancestor, and its descendants were a little different and so on. And so it branched out into all these different varieties of dinosaurs. They're all supposed to be related from a common thecodont ancestor, according to the evolutionists. And that represents how far down in the fossil record we find them, which evolutionists believe represents millions of years. I would reject that. But still, the point is, all the branching is where the evolution's happening, where one kind's changing into another. Highlighted areas indicate solid fossil evidence. So in other words, the areas in blue are where they actually find the fossils. Where's all the evolution happening? All the places where you don't find any fossils. That's a shame. They all evolved and they left absolutely no evidence of it. Isn't that weird? That's hard to explain, isn't it? Not if you're a creationist.
Okay, pause it there.
Wowsies.
Yeah. All right, Doc Dino, talk to us about this chart.
Okay, well, one, just saying that these are all thecodonts. So Thecodontia was a grouping of reptiles that was in use for a few decades. It hasn't been used for a few decades. Very obsolete term. So just to give you an idea of how old this chart must be. And fun fact, we're always finding new fossils and filling in gaps. Constantly.
How old then do you think this chart is?
I don't know. We're not given a source.
So, or maybe a better way of asking that is how at what point? I mean, how certain are you of, or like in terms of its currency? You know for a fact it's older than this. Like, what are we talking about here?
So it's definitely not current. I want to say it hasn't been used for at least 15 years, maybe 2 or 3 decades. I can't tell you
Wow.
when exactly it
Sure.
stopped being used,
Of course.
but it hasn't been used for a while. Most of these things would now be referred to as archosaurs. Well, I mean, they were referred to as archosaurs, but now we just call them archosaurs. But there's other groups here too. Where are they? Like saying carnosaurs over on the left. Carnosauria is a term that's pretty far out of favor. Separating, like they're separating a lot of groups in here that are now considered to be part of those groups. So I can't tell you how out of date this is, but I can tell you it is pretty out of date. And not only have a lot of these gaps been filled in by now, like our understanding of the evolution of dinosaurs has changed in the last few decades. Like
and that's not reflected in this chart at all either, right? That understanding that has changed.
No, not at all. Like this is old.
I just did like a screenshot and did an image search to see if I could find a date, and I did find something like a Ray Comfort companion guide.
Oh my god.
And he uses that
Sorry.
image, but it doesn't have a date on it. But I think that tells you something.
But he said
Great.
it said he's from the evolutionists. It's their own textbook. This is their chart.
Great. So it's been circulating in YEC circles.
Wow. Eh?
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, this is a terrible.
And of course,
sorry.
Of course, it would be totally unsurprising if Ray Comfort got this from like a credible source and just did not bother to cite it at all. I mean, that's on brand.
Someone in the chat says they found it.
Oh, did they?
The Dinosaur Data Book, 1990.
Good job.
Wow. Yeah, nice. You said 2 or 3 decades?
Bingo!
So,
Perfect.
Yeah, you
You were on
did.
point.
Wow.
Hey, yeah,
so-
they colorized it. Perfect.
There's one other thing that bothered me about the way he explained this too, because I don't know anything about anything. But what I do know, because I did take biology in university, and what I do know is that you're like to say that all the evolution is happening where there's no like solid bars, which are the fossil, like the actual fossils that we have, is just that's just a misunderstanding of how anything works, isn't it? Like those
every
nodes.
species is evolving.
Yes,
As long as something's alive, it evolves. Well, as long as the
evolved.
population is alive, it will evolve. It will change.
And he said it was
Yep.
not for the good either. He said what has evolved wasn't for the good either.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
like, how do you quantify that? First of all,
Right.
here's the fun thing: very few dinosaur groups actually go completely extinct. A lot of them make it to the very end of the age of dinosaurs. They're very successful, and even the ones that do go extinct before the end last for a while. Like, dinosaurs were good at surviving. It took a death rock from outer space to take them out.
Damn.
Like, the Earth could not
Crazy,
kill
right?
them. It had to get
And
help.
even then, right? Like that's when I recently watched the Dinosaurs on Netflix. Have you watched it yet?
Yes,
I was
I have some complaints,
I thought
but
it was,
I think it's very good.
yeah, I was really impressed with it. I thought it was so good. As somebody who, like I said, I don't know anything about anything. But an impression that show made on me was the fact that like dinosaurs have survived like all these extinction events. Like it's very, very impressive to me.
Yeah, and I guess for specificity, I was meaning non-avian dinosaurs, but
Right.
that's a mouthful.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
But I don't think anything's going to take out birds. Like, they are hyper adaptable, and they live in every single environment on Earth, even where nothing
Wow.
else survives. They live in Antarctica. Nothing
Crazy,
lives in
right?
Antarctica.
Yes, nothing lives there except for birds. So we have a super chat from Jeremide for $4.99. Thank you very much. At least this is more recent than Darwin. Young Earth creationists raise their kids to defeat Darwin even in 2026.
True. This is true.
Mhm.
Yeah. We throw so much shade as J-Dubs. We threw so much shade at Darwin.
He really doesn't deserve it. Like, from everything I've heard, it sounds like Darwin was a pretty nice dude, too.
Right, yeah.
Just shy, and he liked bugs and pigeons.
It's true. You can clip that, John Gooderham. It's totally fine. So I will own that. All right. We ready to continue?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, wait, someone brings up something fun in the chat. Would dinosaurs be kosher?
Oh, right. And again, I guess it just depends, right? Like chewing cud, having cloven hooves. There were avian dinosaurs which would have been okay so long as like none of these other things that disqualify them. So I think it's you again, right? It's just a case by case, because it sure sounds to me, the more I learn about this, that it's much more nuanced in terms of understanding what dinosaurs are too, right?
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of dinosaurs.
Yes, exactly.
Some of them did have hooves, though. Duckbills had hooves.
Look at my hooves.
Cool. Sorry. All right.
We ready?
Let's continue.
Dinosaurs show no evidence of evolution. Variation within a kind, but not evolution between kinds. Okay, what do dinosaurs eat? That's the question that we need to ask now, right? Because that T-Rex, he looks pretty hungry, and he's got awfully sharp teeth. And we now know that human beings lived at the same time as dinosaurs, so maybe Adam's on the menu too, huh? Is that a possibility? Well, let's consider Tyrannosaurus Rex, who had
pause
teeth
it for a second, because I just want to consider that declaration. We now know that human beings lived with dinosaurs. We know this. We know it.
I think it's time you get your glasses on, because it makes it
glasses.
so much easier
That's
to
true.
understand.
Right, it's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we probably don't have to dwell on that too much. But maybe, I don't know, maybe can you say something, Doc Dino, about like the kinds of like, I assume these are like, when he's talking about dinosaurs, he's talking about like Jurassic and Triassic period animals, probably, right?
Based on what he says later on, he groups them into roughly family levels, but
Okay, yeah.
the thing is, that's still a ton of hidden variation that he doesn't know anything about. Like,
Right.
here's the funny thing: if you study evolution and you don't strawman it, you can quantify the variation within a species versus the variation outside of a species. And we can figure out speciation rates and roughly how long it takes for certain traits to change and shift. We can figure all that out. And young Earth creationists never take that into account at all. I mean, big surprise, they don't deal with the actual science. They just say, hey, these things look similar. When they're just drawn similar. They're completely different animals.
Wow.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right.
6 inches long
Whoa.
with a serrated edge.
Talking about
Ooh.
teeth.
That's too small.
How would we describe the first
Oh,
of these dinosaurs? The first
sorry.
T-Rex that God
What
created.
was that?
I
That's
just
too
laughed because
small.
you said talking about teeth. I was like, oh, what were we talking about?
I could be a lot of things. The T-Rex teeth, like counting the root, easily 8-9 inches long. Like they're beefy. They're beefy.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's huge.
Yeah, you have
Jesus.
3 to 5 inches sticking out of the gums. Like,
Oh,
T-Rex
yeah.
have very deep-rooted crowns to their teeth, because they chomped with the force of an 18-wheeler.
Damn.
But
Do
and
they-
that's exaggerating a little bit, but a lot.
Did they go back,
chomp
or
very
was
hard,
it
so
like,
they have very deep-rooted teeth.
did they
I
just,
think
if it
the
fell out, it
normal
was done, or do we even know that?
Oh, they lost teeth all the time.
But I mean, like,
Um,
did it grow back in, like, like a shark or something? Oh, did it for real?
Yeah,
Man.
mammals
God
are weird
damn.
for only having 2 sets of teeth. Almost everything else
Oh.
constantly replaces teeth. Mammals are just weird.
Wow. I wish we had that. Could you imagine how long
Right.
we'd live if our teeth we just get a new one? Mm.
That's right.
Or elephants. The limiting factor on most elephants' ages is their teeth wear out.
No kidding, eh? So who knows how long an elephant might live if they had replaceable teeth.
Probably at least into their 80s. Like, probably comparable to humans. I mean, you've heard of
Wow.
elephant graveyards, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, do you know why those form?
No, please. Enlighten
Because
us.
old and dying elephants are drawn to areas with soft vegetation that they don't have to chew very hard.
Oh,
It's not that they go
wow.
somewhere because they know they're going to die. It's the only place they can find food they can chew.
Oh,
Wow.
now I'm
That's pretty
sad for
amazing.
the
That's kind of
animals.
amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Now I know.
Well-
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Things you didn't know.
Yeah. I'm full of animal facts.
That's why you're here.
See, we said you love geeking out. Just ask the question.
Would you have been a plant eater, a meat eater, a scavenger, or a plant and meat eater? T-Rex was a plant eater originally. How do we know that? Scripture tells us that. Scripture tells us that, right? Genesis 1:29 and 30, God says, he's speaking to Adam and Eve, And God said, see, I've given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it shall be for food. Verse 30, also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth in which there is life. Would that include dinosaurs? Are they part of everything? Yes, everything's part of everything. Yes, I've given every green herb for food, and it was so. Originally, human beings and all animals were vegetarian, according to Scripture. After the flood, God gave permission to human beings to eat meat.
All
He says, as I gave you the plants, I now.
So I mean, I have a couple of questions, and I'll just point out, right, like this is, so what's happening here, this is in terms of the Bible, he is picking out a feature that is particular to one of the writers of the Bible. Scholars identify as the priestly writer, who was one of the sources of the first 5 books of the Bible in the Torah. This idea that humans started, that vegetarianism was the part of the created order that changed later on, is very important to this particular writer, because he is very concerned with matters of a ritual. Well, with ritual matters of sacrifice and diet and these sorts of things. So this is one of these things where if you handle the text as it was, written, and from a more critical perspective, and not just treating it as univocal, you recognize where some of this stuff comes from. But Doc Dino, how do we know that a Tyrannosaurus Rex was not? I'm assuming he wasn't. First of all, was the Tyrannosaurus Rex a vegetarian?
No, and we know that for several reasons.
What?
Yeah, please.
So here's the fun thing. A lot of people think that being an herbivore is the default, like the default state for ancestors and stuff.
Okay.
No, herbivores are derived. Carnivory is the ancestral state for basically every animal, for a few reasons. One,
Wow.
meat is easier to process, and two, well, actually, it's mostly that. Meat is easier to process, it's easier to get calories out of. That's why you can eat 2 pounds of potatoes and get the same calories as 1 steak. It's easier to get the calories out. You also need less specialized teeth to deal with it. Like, you're fine mostly just swallowing your food whole. So you can just have railroad spikes or kitchen knives for a face. And your guts.
Sorry.
Your guts can be a lot smaller too. It's okay.
Wow.
I've actually found dinosaur teeth that are like kitchen knives. I can share pictures later. But like, you have a lot less guts that you need because meat's so much easier to process. So if we look at a skeleton and we look at the teeth, we can tell, hey, this thing couldn't process things. It couldn't chew. It has spikes for a face. It probably bit and swallowed chunks.
Oh.
Then we move down the body to the rib cage. And the rib cage and gut space is small. It doesn't have the big guts you need to eat plants. It couldn't eat a lot of plants.
Wow.
And there's a third thing. We can do isotope studies on teeth. Because something about teeth, they're incredibly resilient. Like zircons from before, they're very chemically resilient and physically resilient. So, if you get some teeth, you can run them through a mass spectrometer and get stable isotopes from when the animal was alive. And you can tell what it was eating.
Wow.
Not only can you tell what it was eating,
That's amazing.
you can guesstimate its place in the food chain. And if it's cold-blooded, you can tell what the surrounding temperature was.
Wow. That's incredible.
That really is incredible, man.
You can also get information on if it traveled from place to place, because you can get latitude data.
Wow.
It's really cool stuff.
Is it just like pressure or something, like different pressure, or how do you like?
So You know how there are different isotopes of different elements, right? So they have different atomic weights. Because of the slightly different atomic weights, they behave slightly differently chemically. So that means, like, depending on, say, the temperature of the air outside, you will have different ratios of water isotopes that evaporate versus stay in the water. And when an animal drinks the water that remains, it'll retain those slight differences in
Oh my
isotope
gosh,
signatures.
that's crazy.
So you can backtrack through the teeth to get the temperature of the pond, which tells you the temperature of the environment. Surprisingly, this works super well for aquatic organisms.
That is it. And the way that
That's incredible.
oh, I can't believe he's so smart, and he's just like, ugh, and tosses it after everything you just explained to me. He just tosses
Well,
it.
I'm starting to think that this guy's just a dummy.
Maybe he's
but,
not as smart as you think.
Oh, he's an astrophysicist talking about dinosaurs. Oh, and by the way, we have done those isotope studies on T-Rexes. Not only did they eat meat, they ate a lot of meat, and they could get gout.
Oh, that sucks.
Wow. Yeah.
I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure they got gout. Which, how do you get gout, folks?
Is that sugars, or what is that?
Eating too much red meat.
Red meat. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Opposite of what I said. Red meat. Oh wow. So it's like, duh, they had to have been eating meat. Wow.
Yeah,
It had to have been. Yeah. Excellent. Very enlightening.
The T-Rex Sioux had
I
gout.
feel smarter.
Just double checked. So the big T-Rex, the Field Museum in Chicago.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. Let's continue.
Let's do it.
Give you everything that moves on the earth, which is kind of what a hot dog is. Okay?
That was kind of funny.
So it's okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Shall I rewind it?
Funny as he thought. Nah.
Okay. Not that funny.
It's not that funny.
But that was after sin, right? Originally, animals and human beings were vegetarian, originally. And if you think about it, that would have to be the case because when you're eating meat, you're eating a dead animal, and death came into the world after Adam sinned. There was no meat to eat originally. Of course, you'd have to eat plants. So dinosaurs were originally vegetarian, and that includes that T-Rex. So he's thinking about eating plants. And that
I have a question, though. When God creates the creatures of the sea, that's the day before the land animals, right? I think
yes, absolutely.
So it doesn't mention that he created food for them. I'm just saying. So, I mean, were there plants in the sea at that time? I mean, maybe. Or were they supposed to eat each other?
How much did they know about the aquatic botany in antiquity, right?
Right.
And it was, I mean, I think the general expectation was that fish just ate other fish, right? From their perspective. And you'll notice that it is an excellent point, Brian. When he mentions all the animals that are vegetarians, there are no sea creatures on that list. They're just not there, right? Very astute.
Herbivores are very rare, just in general. Like, it's very easy to be a carnivore if you live in the water.
Right.
Whales are carnivores.
What is?
Whales.
Whales are carnivores. They're predators. They just eat.
They're bad bitches, that's for sure. F around and find out.
It does bother people because, those incredibly sharp teeth. And indeed, there's no doubt, T-Rex had sharp teeth. 6-inch serrated fangs, perfectly designed for ripping and tearing into watermelons and cantaloupes and all sorts of vegetables, right? Because if you think about it, there are some plants that would require something like a sharp tooth to get into. I mean, I had watermelon today too, and you think, well, that's about as soft as it can get after you get to the inside, right? In order to get to the inside, you have to use something like a knife, kind of like a sharp tooth, to get it open, right? Whereas T-Rex could bite right into it.
Do you have to? You don't have to. I'm just saying. You can just like slam it against the ground or kick it or stomp on it. I mean, just saying.
I mean, I actually, I do have a super brief video I could show
Oh yeah,
disproving
let's
that.
do that.
You share it.
I am sharing it now.
Oh, there it is.
Have you ever been to a zoo before?
Yeah.
Right? It's so cute though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love seeing them do this.
Oh,
They
It
love
looks
their
so cute. They look
watermelons.
so cute and sweet. And them things would tear your ass up.
Yeah, when it's a death machine the size of an SUV.
Right?
that's incredible. Oh my god, that's so good.
It just has,
But I
as
just
soon as
when
I
he's
saw
like,
him
well,
say
those
that,
teeth
that
are
popped
sharp,
in
so it
my
must be
brain.
that. Get it.
They crush them with their molars, though.
Man. Also, aren't watermelons like engineered fairly recent?
They do the
I seem to
seedless
remember.
now.
Yeah,
They're
but like
practically done to be seedless, so you can't like grow them yourself unless you
right.
buy the seed.
But I think
Yeah.
too, like so much of our food, our vegetation has been like cultivated over thousands of years and artificially selected over thousands of years. So like this wouldn't like I don't know where did watermelons come from? Were there like are they that old even? Are they plants that would have even been around
Africa?
millions of years ago?
Yeah.
So
I'm
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at
you're right.
Wikipedia right now. Oh, watermelon was first described in 1753
North
by
Africa.
Linnaeus. They
Just
were
saying.
originally cultivated. They've been found in the Dead Sea regions.
Wow.
But looks like they've
How
been
about
cultivated
that?
for at
Well, I mean,
least
just think
5,000
about the
years.
Palestinian. The
5,000 years.
watermelon's one of their like
At least.
symbols. I'm just saying, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far back. Like, I guess 4,000 years is pretty far.
Yeah. That's pretty far. But we're dealing on a scale here of like hundreds of thousands of millions of years, right? Like it just
Well, the
it's
dinos.
but from their perspective, but even from their perspective, that's yeah. Anyways, yeah, press play.
One, and it wouldn't be a problem. There are animals today that have sharp teeth that are primarily or entirely vegetarian. This particular primate, look at the sharp teeth on that guy, and yet he's primarily vegetarian, only occasionally supplementing his diet with meat. There's a monkey that lives in Ethiopia.
He says things like that. He's like, oh, they're vegetarian, but then sometimes he supplements. It's like those breatharians
Right.
who only breathe air, but sometimes they supplement by drinking water and eating and having soup or something. Like, stop that. You just stop. You're starving yourself. Don't lie to yourself.
And the males have these incredible fangs, and you think, well, that must be for eating meat, but it's not. These they eat grass. Yeah. You say, why does he have the? Well, I don't know, but he eats grass.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
So primates in general tend to have pretty beefy canines. Humans are weird for having tiny ones. They're for fighting each other and for self-defense. Like, we know what they use them for. They don't use them to eat. They use them to bite and fight.
Impossible.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Impossible.
But, like, keep in mind, they eat with their incisors and their molars. That's how they process their food.
Right.
T-Rex, with this analogy, is all fighting canines. He has no way to process vegetables.
That's it.
So it's almost like he's proving that it couldn't be the case, you know?
Without realizing it, yes. And also, just to say, we do also have fossilized T-Rex poop.
Yum.
It's full of crushed up bones.
Oh, snap. Is it
Excellent.
really?
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Huge,
Oof, what a way to go.
huge turds, too.
Poop is funny. All right, you want me to play?
It is. Yes, please.
Or look at this skull. You might think, well, sure, that's got to be a meat eater. Look at the sharp teeth on that. We know it's not, because this is the skull of a fruit bat. And you know what fruit bats eat? fruit. Yeah, they're not meat eaters. They're not meat eaters. Now, obviously, at some point after.
Well,
Except if you actually looked at their teeth, you could tell it's not a carnivore. Like, you can't take a superficial glance and say, oh yeah, that's a meat eater. Oh yeah, that's a plant eater. You have to actually look at it. And fruit bats are specialized for processing fruits. Like, you
And they're
just
cute.
can't know biology to make this analogy.
Oh, not in his case.
Adam sin.
Do you want me to keep going? Sorry.
Sorry, I just want to. I've got a couple here. I don't think I hit
Yeah,
yet. From
missed a couple.
Jaramode for $1.99 said no meat farts before the flood. Thank goodness for that, right? And Olivia Williams Purple Fairy for $2.79 Canadian. It makes it puzzling why ECs are so anti-vegan.
Right?
Interesting. Right.
That was
it is.
that was perfection to God, allegedly, according to them.
Yeah.
Why not get
And yet
closer to God?
this is a pretty consistent feature of a lot of them. Is there's this intersection in the Venn diagrams between like anti-vegan, anti-vegetarian, and creationist. So cool.
Some of the animals start eating meat because some of them do.
We good?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure. Were you pulling up another one, or are you done?
No, I'm not. We can continue.
Today.
Was there another one?
They don't have to.
Wasn't there two?
I grabbed both of them. Yeah.
Oh, you did? My bad.
I did.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Sorry.
I'm tripping.
That's cool.
They don't have to. It's a myth that, well, meat eaters, they have to eat meat. There are animals today that we think of as meat eaters that will sometimes go back to their pre-fall vegetarian diet, like lions. Everybody knows lions eat meat, right? They're meat eaters, carnivores. Well, there was a 350-pound female lion named Little Tyke, raised in captivity. She went her whole life without ever eating meat. Here she is with one of her owners. And it reminds us the way all animals would have been before sin entered the world.
So this one animal didn't eat meat, therefore it works for all of them.
I love that anecdotal, just choose one and then, the rest just fit right in. It's perfect.
Indeed, right? Indeed. It's yeah. So you got anything on that Duck Dino?
Sorry, I was writing something. What were we?
That's all right.
Talking about? Sorry, I was distracted.
The lion in captivity that didn't eat any meat and then got tired of eating meat.
I don't know anything about that lion. I don't know if it's real or not.
We can continue. It could just be a lie too. That's common with these sorts of groups.
Snake.
But what about the specific word dinosaur? Why don't we find that in the Bible? This perplexes some people, but there's a very good reason for it. The word dinosaur was invented in 1841. It did not exist when the Bible was first translated into English. There's the John Wycliffe, his translation of the Bible back in the 1800s, and there were several other.
Sorry, what was that?
It was published in 1842, not 1841. Just saying.
Yeah.
Get them facts straight.
The King James was in 1611. The word dinosaur didn't exist when the Bible was translated into English, right? But you will find the word dragon in the Bible in a number of places. King James Bible, several others. The Hebrew word that is translated dragon is tanin. And tanin is kind of a generic word indicating any monstrous kind of beast. It wouldn't be limited to dinosaurs, but it would certainly include them. And there are a number of mentions of tanin.
No,
I just realized what that green thing is.
Isn't it associated with water, though? Or am I wrong?
Pardon me?
The tannin.
Yes.
Isn't
So
usually...
the tannin is not just a generic term for any large what did he say? Any large dangerous animal. Can you maybe back it up a few seconds? Yeah, let's hear this again.
Limited to dinosaurs, but it would certainly include them. And there are a number of mentions of tanin in the scriptures. Several.
Maybe,
so yes,
sorry,
God did
back a little
generic
bit more.
word that is translated dragon is tanin. And tanin is kind of a generic word indicating any monstrous kind of beast. It wouldn't be limited to dinosaurs, but it would certainly include
Any monstrous beast
Any.
is not, it is not the meaning of this word. So I don't know how many are aware. Lots of my audience is aware of this, but the Bible as a collection of literature is chock full of all sorts of mythological literature. And the Tannin was like a group, it was like a mythological creature. The Tannin were specifically the sea monsters. They're, part of the great oceans. The Tannin were created. I think he'll actually mention that they were created separately from most other things. Significantly, they're the only things in the entire first story there in Genesis 1 that is specifically said to have been created using that word by God. The other one is human beings. The word bara, which means to create, appears 3 times in Genesis chapter 1. At the very beginning, when God began creating the heavens and the earth, it's there. Then he created all the great Tannin in the sea. Then he created human beings. So it's significant because there's a whole there's a whole cultural background. Yes, the Leviathan is a Tannin. There's a whole cultural background to this idea. I tend to think that what's probably happening, because the story in Genesis chapter 1 is riffing off of and it's echoing these older texts, these much older creation stories, in particular the Enuma Elish from Babylon. And the Tannin are almost certainly the monsters that were created by Tiamat in order to go and kill all the rest. She created all these monsters, and these were her forces that were going to go and kill all the gods, because that's sort of the heart of the story there, the conflict. So I mean, and that's what they are. It describes them as these fierce, mythological, terrifying creatures, and then that gets transplanted in Genesis, and you see it echoed and picked up in a few other places in the Hebrew Bible, and they're all these are always the best translation is into English is probably like sea monsters. Chuck says, I happen to be standing in front of the coal dino and tree fossils at the USU Price UT Museum. How are they in the coal layer? Do you know anything about this?
I do not. I've never heard of this before. I have no idea.
It's a good question.
Good question.
Thanks, Chuck.
But as for how dinosaurs can be discovered in a coal layer, I mean, here's the thing: most of our coal formed in the Carboniferous and Permian, so about 300 to 250 million years ago. But we do still have coal deposits from the age of dinosaurs and even after. What coal deposits are usually is they are places where there was a lot of really slow deposition for a long time of a lot of organic matter, like in a peat bog or in a swamp. Animals do live in swamps. Animals visit swamps. Actually, very famously, have you ever heard of iguanodon?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, plant-eating dinosaur with thumb spikes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the most famous skeletons of iguanodon were discovered in a coal mine because they were a herd of adult individuals that got mired in a swamp as they were passing through and died. And because they were in a swamp, their fossils preserved beautifully because swamps are very good places for preservation. But they got buried by a ton of organic matter because they were in a swamp, so they were found in the coal mine. And we found a lot of other dinosaurs like this. I know there's one from Russia called Palaescus. There's some from the US, just all kinds of places. They were in a swamp and they died. So they got buried in a coal deposit. Yeah,
There you
not
have it.
all coal is carboniferous. Most of it is. Not all of it.
Cool.
All right.
There's a few reasons for that. But also, I know what that green thing is. It looks like a dragon. That's because they destroyed a beautiful dinosaur.
Did
to
they
make that
stylize it
picture.
or something?
They stylized it to hell. Right now, I'm sharing a picture of what it actually would have looked like, and it's a beautiful animal. They tortured it.
Whoopsies, sorry. Oh,
This
wow.
is Baryonyx.
Oh.
It's a lovely creature.
Yeah.
And then when we go back, just look at what they did to my boy. Whoop,
Oh.
that's the wrong tab.
Let's see.
Wowsies. Yes, it
Yeah,
looks
that
like-
really is
It looks
terrible.
like it's in agony.
It does actually. So, yikes. Hmm.
And there are a number of mentions of Tanin in the scriptures, several. So yes, God did know about these creatures. He did create them. He knows about them. And Tanin would also include swimming reptiles like plesiosaurs, so as well as genuine land dinosaurs.
No.
Mhm.
no
What about
way.
specific-
Based on what
Right,
you told
there
us,
we go
Kip,
again.
Specific
only
varieties of dinosaur.
plesiosaurs
Hold on,
could
I think those
really
are-
be leaped under
Sorry.
this. Sorry. Based on what you told us earlier, Kip, only plesiosaurs could really be grouped into this.
Right.
Well, at least from
Yeah.
what he's mentioned so far.
Mm.
Yeah, but not probably not. Because again, I'm just gonna point out these are just fearsome mythological creatures living out in the dangerous seas. Because I don't know if you knew this, but like the ocean is it's scary, it's dangerous. If you go out there, there's a good chance you're going to die in the ocean. So ancient people understood this, and they thought it was this terrible place, this mysterious place that was full of all sorts of things that who knows what's out there. You just don't know.
Mhm.
So
Chaos.
it's
the
chaos. It's chaos. Exactly. Thank you. So let's continue.
As well. If you take a look in Job chapter 40, verse 15, we read about a creature called behemoth. That's the
There we
Hebrew
go.
word, behemoth. It kind of means beast of beasts. And they weren't sure how to translate it, so most versions leave it untranslated, which is probably a good thing to do if you don't know how to translate it. So, and the reason they had trouble translating it is because when they read the description of it, it doesn't fit any existing creature. And just to give us a little bit of context, Job, we talk about the patience of Job. Job was getting a little impatient toward the end. He never cursed God to his credit, but he did want to have a conversation with God. And who can blame him? And then God graciously condescended. It's basically said beginning in Job 38, basically said this: okay, before we have this conversation, let's see if you're qualified. You want to argue your case with your creator? Okay, tell me. And then he begins asking Job a series of questions that Job can't answer. And Job got
So you could never be, how could you ever be qualified against your creator? I'm just saying.
Oh no, he's getting out of touch.
Can't
I'm
question it.
getting on a book. Yes, because I did want to say something about the Book of Job and about this reading on the Book of Job, because I think it's just as a serious disservice to what's actually happening in that text. So this is famously. Do you know anything about the Book of Job, Doc Dino?
I know it contains a lot of mythology and a lot of mythological things. I don't know much about it other than what
So-
YECs preach about.
It's basically it's quite a large book, and it's filled with this. Most of it is just this dense philosophical Hebrew poetry, reflecting on on basically why bad things happen to good people, and the divine culpability in that, and the appropriate human response to it. So it's a story about a wealthy man from the distant past, from this foreign place, who loses all of his possessions in a single day because God wants to see if his piety is legitimate. So he conducts this test through his basically court-appointed prosecutor called the Satan. So this happens, and then most of the rest of the book is just his philosophical contemplation of this stuff with his friends. At which point, through over and over again, Job continues to maintain his innocence and his righteousness, because in conventional thinking in antiquity, when bad things happen to you, it's because you displeased the gods in some way. You were being punished. He's fighting back against it. He's like, no. I mean, that just doesn't work. It's fine. Why is this happening to me? So in the final scene of the book, he finally encounters Yahweh, the God of Israel, who demands, Job is petitioning like he would before a court, and he's demanding, like, listen to me, I have a case to make, I'm a righteous man. And finally Yahweh says, okay, fine, I'll listen to you. And then, basically cries like a petulant child. I've written a little bit about this, and I'd like to read it, just because I think it does a disservice to what's actually going on in the text. And if you have, some people in my audience have the book, God's Propaganda. This starts on page 426. So let me see why. So after much pushback on the trite advice of his exasperated friends, Job's friends, after crying out to the God who was ignoring him, Yahweh shows up. And he confronts Job in a set of lengthy speeches in chapters 38 to 41, beginning with, "Who is this darkening my counsel with words, but no knowledge?" That's chapter 38, verse 1. "Shall a malcontent argue with Shaddai?" That's an ancient title for God. "Whoever rebukes a god must respond." Job answered Yahweh, and see here, I am tiny. What answer of mine will satisfy you? I slap my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not respond. Twice, but will not continue. He's scared. Yahweh answered Job from the storm and said, "Here now, hike up your skirts like a man. I will interrogate you, and you will answer me. Would you in fact impugn my justice? Do you dare condemn me as if in the right? Have you an arm like a god? Can you thunder with the sound like his voice?" 40 verse 2 to 9. In a series of petulant diatribes, Yahweh essentially reaffirms many of the observations of his friends, and disappointingly asserts his omnipotence in Job's inability to comprehend why such things happen. In short order, people suffer or they do not within the grand design of God, which is none of your fucking business anyways. Is this really a message to comfort? As Stephen Bridge goes on, I'll skip that. Job is silenced into a resigned acceptance, and this is what he says. And very often, translations will treat this as if this is Job humbling himself and basically in a form of pietistic repentance before God. This is what he says: "I know that you are capable of everything. No schemes are beyond you. Who is this? Darkening counsel and a dearth of knowledge? To wit, I have held court, but I do not understand. Things too difficult for me, so I do not know. Listen now, I will myself speak. I will interrogate you. You will reveal unto me." He's kind of parroting back to God what God has said to him. "By my own ear I have surely heard you, but now my eye has seen you. So then I give up. I repent in dirt and ash." Can you hear it in his voice? Is it piety? Is it regret? Is it humility? Theologians and commenters alike will tend to interpret Job's final response in this light. This is a quote from one. The Lord's speeches has stripped Job of his pride and self-sufficiency, and all that remained was a debasing need to repent. But if you're anything like me, you will find this as an unsatisfying resolution. Is that it? God just gets to flip the game board. And God just gets to flip the game board, and Job, who has been vocal, insistent, and brave in his petition for justice from a deity, he's just good with that? Color me skeptical. To be clear, we can't hear Job's voice, and without hearing him, we also can't know whether his final words here are spoken in fawning acceptance or may otherwise be a tad sardonic. I prefer to think that this is a moment of exasperation for the abused protagonist. Yahweh sought silently through his complaints, through a fire hose of bad advice from his confused friends, only now to respond with verbal barbs as sharp and traumatizing as the corporeal ordeal he has endured. I prefer to see in Job's words defiance, a final faux contrition before Yahweh performed through clenched teeth of tongue-in-cheek resentment. In other words, the best way to shut up a blustering tyrant is to say whatever it takes to make him stop talking. Shut the fuck up, Yahweh. So that's what's going on in this book. And this is it's an incredible book if you actually understand what it's about. All that to say, no, it's not about fucking dinosaurs. And it's not about this. It's not about this fawning repentance before this amazing God. There is some actual depth to this text and some meaning coming from a point of actual human experience. Sorry, I was on my soapbox. I'll shut up now.
All right.
No, you don't need to.
Kip Davis has written nope.
Sorry.
Thank you. That was nice. But maybe we should move on and start talking about Behemoth and hear what he has to say about this.
Okay.
The point. He covered his mouth, so I can't contend with the Almighty. God begins asking Job a series of questions, and he begins relating these creatures that Job was familiar with. And can you understand this? Can you do that? And then he kind of builds up to larger and larger. And they're real creatures that existed. So my point is that this creature was a real creature that Job must have been familiar with. Otherwise, God's argument would have made no sense. Okay, so that's the context of this passage. Job is classified as poetic literature, but that's because the speeches of Job and his friends were poetic in nature. But it's really a history book because it's recording what they said, literally.
I just want you to think about that for a second. It's history because it's actually recording what everyone is saying, but it's poetic literature because that's the way they spoke. Does that sound real to you? Like, how many people do you know speak in poetry?
Pretentious people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fair. That's fair.
Maybe on a TV show.
Perhaps.
But, yeah, that's another one of those like logical jumps he makes, which I just absolutely adore.
It's insane. It's stupid, right?
Otherwise Job wouldn't have known what he was talking about, though. Dr. Kip Davis. I mean, how would he have known unless he knew and saw Behemoth? So
fine, right?
Yeah,
before we continue,
no cultures ever have an understanding of folklore or creatures in folklore,
right?
Ever,
right? Exactly.
Oh,
before we continue, Mike P 9380 became a YouTube member, and then Joshua Geese, budding Hebraist, gifted another 5 channel memberships. Thank you very much, Joshua. And Jeremiah is back with $1.99. Isn't there some debate about the ending of Job? There's plenty of debate about the ending of Job, which we do not have the time to get into, I'm afraid. I'll do a Job stream someday. It's an incredible book.
There's a lot about Job, isn't there?
Pardon me?
From front to back, there's a lot about Job to be talked about. It's a very interesting the way it's written, the language, like all of it is just kind of crazy. Right?
It is a puzzle. because it is the most difficult, the most difficult, densest Hebrew in the entire Bible appears in the book of Job, but it's in such a way that it's like scholars they debate this, but it really looks like whoever wrote the book was trying very, very hard to be like I don't even know what the word is, like cryptic or esoteric with their language, or to just be super pretentious, right? In how it's written. That's part of what makes it so difficult. But it's loaded with all sorts of stuff. So, but let's get into Behemoth here.
So that's the context of this. If we read the description of Behemoth.
No, I was going to say, and I think brontosaurs, right? Sauropods is the other thing. So
if it sounds like
I wouldn't call them brontosaurs.
Oh, sorry, you would go.
No,
yes,
it's okay.
Sorry.
I know. Okay, so I will say I have heard explanations of what, like I know you say Behemoth is a chaos monster. And you obviously know the scripture a lot better than I do. But I have heard a lot of interpretations that it might be an elephant, and they seem compelling to me. So I'm curious to hear the other side of it. Or another side.
Yes. And I would say if this, and part of the reason for my explanation about this creature is the fact that it's paired with this other mythological beast, the Leviathan. So it's like Behemoth and Leviathan, or the great sea monster and the great land monster. So but I will agree, like I've also heard crocodile as a possibility, but there are certainly what I would say is that and we can talk about this too as we kind of go through it, but the something that he does say that I think is accurate is that it's one of the difficult things is that the description is not in perfect alignment all the way through for any individual animal, right? So you can get there, but it's not always the easiest. So
okay.
But I would say if you're going to settle on these being actual land animals, an elephant is probably the best the best one.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
At least.
We got $2 from Ninjester. Imagine taking credit for a book written by a dog. Yeah. Look. All right.
Oh goodness. Give her credit.
Ones that have the long tail and the long neck, four-legged creatures. Verse 15 says, "Look now at Behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox." So he's an herbivore, even at this time in history. And this Job, we think, was written around 2000 BC. So that gives you approximate date for this creature. Verse 16, "See now his strength is in his hips and his power is in his stomach muscles." And that would be a good description of these long-necked dinosaurs. They had very strong muscles along their belly that they needed to support their long neck and their long tail. Verse 17, he says he moves his tail like a cedar. That's a tree. So he's moved his tail like a cedar tree. Yeah. Verse 18, his bones are like beams of bronze, his ribs like bars of iron. Verse 19, he is the first of the ways of God, perhaps indicating that he's the largest creature that God made, the first, the best.
Perhaps.
And indeed, we think these long-necked dinosaurs, we think those are the largest land animal that God created. The largest animal God created is still alive. It's the blue whale. But that's oceanic, of course. "Only he who made him can bring near his sword." Boy, that sounds awkward in English, but it's basically saying only God could attack this creature. If you come at it with a sword, it's going to bat you away with its tail, and that's the end of you, right? You don't have a chance. Some Bibles in the footnotes, Behemoth, they'll have a footnote, possibly an elephant or hippopotamus.
There you go.
The thing you need to remember about the footnotes in your Bible, they're not inspired, okay? They can be helpful, don't get me wrong, but they're not part of the original text. They're not inspired by God. Could this creature be an elephant or hippo? Does an elephant or hippo have a tail like a cedar tree? No. An elephant has a tail.
Do you want to pause it there for a second?
Like a little flap.
And we could probably say a few things about this. So now what I will say is that I think this is and there's some translational issues here too, where it talks about tail in the Hebrew text. most likely this is euphemistic for like genitals. Like it's just it right. So and the
Is that most
swinging.
likely? I thought that was a joke from R and Raw.
No, that's legitimate. Yeah. So
Damn.
it
Oh my
is
Big schlong.
and my apologies for mispronouncing it this entire time. It's Doc Dino. Because it's what's the dinosaur called? It's a
Deinonychus. So
Deinonychus.
it's
Okay.
actually the raptor from Jurassic Park.
Oh, that
It's
one, the one that
Velociraptor.
taps, the one that like jumps
Oh,
up. And, like,
that is
taps the
Yeah,
thingy.
the
That was
Velociraptor
more
is
what they
actually a
probably would have looked
Deinonychus.
like.
Wow,
Yeah. So
that's cool.
when Crichton was writing Jurassic Park, he was following a book from Gregory S. Paul, and Paul does a lot of interesting things. He likes to combine different dinosaurs into the same thing. He did that with Deinonychus and Velociraptor, two completely
Oh,
different sized animals from completely different continents.
no way.
But Crichton was using his book as a reference when he was writing, so he took the name Velociraptor.
Right. Well, that's fun.
Oh, Deinonychus. I think is that how they say it in the movie? Did they say it Deinonychus like that?
Do they actually say it
it's-
in the movie?
Or no?
It's only called Velociraptor in the movie.
Oh, okay. That's it. Just Velociraptor. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So they kind of blew that one. So it's not as
Well,
real
it
as he
was-
said it is. It's not as realistic as he said. I'm just joking.
Okay, here's the
Poor
thing.
Adam.
If you just swap the name label, for the time, it's a pretty good Deinonychus.
Okay. Okay.
Like, anatomically, there are a few quibbles, but it's pretty good for the time. Should it have had feathers? Yes. There's a few reasons why they didn't have feathers.
It would have looked so much cooler, I think. But
Oh, there is a video on YouTube where the CG artist did realistic Deinonychus and put them in the scene, like the kitchen scene.
really?
It is
Oh my god!
terrifying.
I know what I'm watching after this.
Right?
I'll send it to you on Discord. It's by
Yes,
Julio.
please. Wow. That
They
that sounds amazing.
Horrifying.
Make sure you share that with me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. The now, as I mentioned, the swinging of the tail, because of many of the translational difficulties in the Book of Job. This is part of it, right? Another completely appropriate translation of this, interpretation of this, is like the stiffening of the tail, but in this case probably like the genitals, like a penis. So it's a form of it's a sign of virility in the ancient Near East, and there's a lot of cultures that are kind of obsessed with this. Which is probably these are all indications of power and strength in the animal. However, I will say, when it comes to interpreting this as an elephant, he says that the animal swings his tail like a cedar, imagining that it's like a cedar, like in terms of girth and I guess length and stuff, and he swings
Couldn't it just be
it.
the sway?
This is it, right? Like, what are we talking about here? The cedars swing or sway, but what parts of them do that? Not
so
the
Little
trunk.
branch?
Yeah, go ahead, Doc
Branch.
Dino.
So one of the compelling arguments I've heard for it being an elephant before, I don't know the original source. I saw this in one of R and Raw's videos. It's a bit older now, but he has this Hebrew expert on, and he says that the specific verbiage of the sentence it's specifically focusing on the sways part. Not it looks like, it sways like a cedar. That's the emphasis.
If that's the right reading of the word, he's absolutely correct, right? And something else that I know is that Lebanese cedars are not like sequoias or like the giant cedar trees that we have out here on the Pacific coast. It's a smaller sort of tree. They look different, and they have foliage and branches that would sway like an elephant tail. This is like it's just sloppy. Somebody gets excited about seeing an English translation and doesn't think through, because I don't think it's not hard to just think through and go, well, this probably isn't the trunk of a tree, I guess the trunk of a tree, right? That's being described here. So
right, that would be ginormous for sure.
It would be. But
so we got this one, I think.
Oh yeah,
we missed that one, I think.
That's right. Olivia Williams, Purple Fairy, thank you for another $6.99 Canadian. You'd think if it was describing a sauropod, it would mention the neck.
Good point.
Like accurately describe the neck, because it talks. The text talks about it having, a strong neck. Okay, like what does that mean relative to any animal? It doesn't say it has like a gigantic, very long neck, right? Which exactly, you'd think that would sort of be the feature, the point. So
you'd think.
Jeremiah for $4.99 says someone has redone Velociraptor VFX in Jurassic Park to look more bird and smaller. Oh, okay.
It's
is
not
that
smaller,
a different one?
But it is.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe someone else did it, but at least the guy I was talking about earlier, he basically just put an accurate Deinonychus on top of the raptors.
Nice.
And here's the thing: people say the raptors are too big. Kinda yes and no. They're within the theoretical maximum size for Deinonychus. They're just too big for Velociraptor.
Right.
But there were almost certainly Deinonychus that big, and that is a terrifying thought.
Boy, that is very cool.
Heck yeah, that's a terrifying thought. Oof. And the ones that spit, if that's real.
Oh, that's the Dilophosaurus, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Dilophosaurus, so. the spitting one. That's not.
That was my
Dilophosaurus was real. They could not spit. At least
you've ruined it.
We have no evidence for them spitting.
Where did they just make that up? Is that
it? So it comes from the books. Crichton had it as like an unexpected element. Like, hey, we have fragments of this creature. It might have had features that are not present in the fossils. Like, that was part of what he built into the book. Like, they're constantly underestimating the dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah.
Perhaps one of them was able to do this.
Yeah,
because
we
don't
have
know.
No evidence for that.
Right.
But it's not. I can't say it is impossible. But if it does help with Dilophosaurus, the real animal was gigantic. Like an animal that weighed as much as a polar bear, but as big as a pickup truck.
An animal that weighed as much as a polar bear, but as big as a pickup truck.
So light for its size. Is that what you're?
Yeah, dinosaurs in general were very light animals.
Because their bones were
huge.
Hollow?
Man. Yeah.
Bones were hollow, and mammals are fat. Like, to be frank, mammals are fat.
What are you saying?
But dinosaurs are much lighter, much more lightly built.
Okay. I'll let that slide. I'm just kidding.
You're not having to feel like a cedar tree. So I don't know for sure. I can't prove that behemoth is.
But wait, I mean, he does say that they did kind of diversify, so maybe they just diversified like that, and then their tails went smaller. Just kidding, obviously.
It's a sauropod
Okay,
dinosaur, but I
sure.
know it's not an elephant or hippo. The description doesn't fit.
All right.
In the next
I
chapter,
think yeah, he's going to talk about Leviathan. How much should we? How much? I'm just curious. I want to be respectful of your time, Doc Dino. How late can you go today? How soon you need to get out of here?
I have a completely free afternoon, so
All right.
whenever you're done, I'm done. I'm
Okay,
fine
we'll
staying.
probably go. If you're cool, we'll probably go for another 30 minutes.
Sure.
So
I just might need to
Good.
refill my water if we go too long.
yeah. All right. Let's learn about Leviathan.
Yay!
We read about a
fun
swimming
fact,
creature called Leviathan.
There,
Oh,
And the
hold
description
on.
of it sounds an awful lot like.
Sorry.
there is a fossil animal called Leviathan, after
Oh,
Leviathan.
nice. Yeah.
Oh,
It is a
okay.
giant
What is it?
sperm whale.
Of course.
Really?
A giant sperm whale with even
I love
more
that.
teeth.
Wow.
And it probably fought Megalodon and hunted whales.
Dang.
That's
I'm
rats.
not
I mean,
making
that's a
that
good
up.
good choice. That's a very good choice. That also actually sounds Leviathan is sort of an anglicized version. In the Hebrew, it's Levitan. So it's closer,
Probably where they
right?
got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm
Zero
sharing
mind
an
for a
image of Leviathan attacking a whale.
beautiful. Let's look at that, please.
Oh,
Nice.
damn.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
So
That's pretty cool.
it really is. So Jeremiah for $1.99 says mammals aren't fat. That's just water weight. Good. So
Ate too much salt.
and Ninjester for $2 says it's a book about chaos theory more than dinosaurs. I think he's talking about the Bible here. And that's probably true. I think that's what he's talking about. Or maybe my book. I don't know.
I think it's a Jurassic Park reference, but it could fit for the Bible too.
Okay. Oh, yes. No, that's a good point too. Yeah. So it could fit all the books. All the books are, except maybe
It's like the
the ones
Bible;
that
it
are.
can be interpreted in many ways.
Yes, exactly. Oh, okay. Leviathan.
Here we go.
Like a plesiosaur, one of these creatures that used to swim in Earth's oceans that evolutionists believe lived millions of years ago. But they had flippers instead of legs because they're ocean creatures, and some of them had a long neck. Not all of them did. And again, let's look at the description of it. Can you draw Leviathan with a hook or snare his tongue with a line which you lower? That's a rhetorical question. Can you fish this thing out like you would carp? No. Verse 9, I won't read all the verses. Verse 9, indeed, any hope of overcoming him is false. Shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? Whatever this is, it's impressive. And see, basically the argument that God is making here, he's saying, Job, you can't even deal with my creature that I made. What makes you think you can deal with me, right? In verse 10, you see that carried out. No one is so fierce that he would dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand against me? You see the argument God's making there? It wouldn't make sense if this were a fictional creature. Some people have said, well, this is a mythical, fictional creature. No, it was a creature Job was familiar with. Otherwise, God's argument would be ridiculous. It's like, can you contend with Bigfoot? Well,
so I'd also like to point out here, importantly, that just because Jason Lyle doesn't believe in the Behemoth or the Leviathan, these chaos monster creatures, just because he doesn't think they're real, that does not mean that the people who wrote these texts thought exactly the same way. Of course, people thought these things were real, or at least real in a sense, right? It was a fantastical world in the imagination of a lot of the writers of the Bible. So to me, it's just a silly thing to say that, and to compare this then to a Sasquatch, which is kind of hilarious too, because there's a lot of people who are convinced that there's Sasquatch out there. For real, right? Like it's this idea that we have I think we have this tendency to draw pretty hard and fast lines between mythical and like factual that just did not it was much blurrier, much fuzzier in antiquity when it comes to the literature that people were reading. So
Can I just say, I also find it funny that he is cherry picking parts of the description of Leviathan. Like, there's nothing about
yes,
the armor or the
right.
fire breathing. I went over this at some creationists talking about Leviathan on a stream recently, so I am right up on Leviathan. It's no.
Yeah, right.
No. Like, if you actually read it, none of it fits a plesiosaur at all.
Yes. I'm sorry, Bree. Terrible oversight on our part. I pray for your forgiveness after the fact. So can you just tell us maybe what plesiosaurs are?
Sure. So plesiosaurs are. Sorry. A bit ago, I mentioned archosaurs, the group that like dinosaurs and crocodilians belong to. Plesiosaurs are also part of that group, though they're a more distant relation. Most of the ones we found are fully aquatic. We have some early members that might have been able to shuffle on land for brief periods, but weren't good at it. Or at least probably weren't good at it. They got fully marine very quickly. They evolved live birth, which is
Wow.
interesting. And they were very successful. They were around until the very end of the Cretaceous. Very diverse too. There were long-necked ones, short-necked ones, short-necked ones that became long-necked ones, and long-necked ones that became short-necked ones.
Interesting. Yeah, right.
They were all carnivorous, as far as you can tell. The short-necked ones would have eaten larger prey. Long-necked ones would have eaten smaller prey. But we know what their skin looked like. And they don't have armor like Leviathan is supposed to have. They actually have a ton of super, super tiny scales. I think maybe with keels like a snake, but I could be wrong about that. They could not breathe fire either, or lightning sparks, whatever
God,
that's
right.
originally supposed to be.
Sad.
No vertebrate animal could do that without cooking its face.
He's going to talk about that here in a minute, so maybe we can hit on that. But yeah, Ninjester has also become a member today, so thank you and welcome to the Metal Lords. That's pretty great. Yeah. So no, definitely, yeah. It doesn't seem plausible.
No,
at all. So
this is arguably one of the worst choices you could make to say this is Leviathan. Like at least a crocodile fits somewhat.
That's another important point I think I'll make about these particular texts is that within the description of the animals too, right? God is describing creatures that are so far beyond human control that the very idea is absurd. We do know that I mean, and that's kind of part of this too, right? Like people were not completely helpless before like any animal, certainly by the Iron Age when these texts were written, right? Like, yeah, they're dangerous. They're super dangerous, but it's not like nobody had ever killed an elephant or crocodile before.
Spears exist.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's continue. Another super chat. Wow, you guys have been great today. Templar Warden for 2 New Zealand dollars says clearly Leviathan was
Dunkleosteus.
Thank you.
What the hell
what
is
is
that?
this?
It
Is
is
it like
a
dunking like
giant
cookies and
armored
milk or
fish.
something?
It's a what?
It is a giant armored fish with a face like a guillotine.
God
The
damn.
Let me get a picture. You'll see what I mean.
All right.
It's
Oh hell!
let's get it.
That's ugly.
Oh, I don't see it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, those are its
wow.
mouth plates. Those aren't teeth.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a good full body shot.
Yeah, I can't get
that'll-
a.
Oh, come on.
Darn.
You'll do for now. Here, let me just share screen. Here. Oh wow! Of course it's tiny.
Jeez, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, but we're
So
getting the. Oh wow. Look
Yeah.
at that. How
big
big are these
fish with
things?
big sharp chompers.
Oh goodness, yeah,
Wow.
that's a chomp. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
guillotine, all right. Chomp,
Although
chomp.
it
It
did
really
get
is.
recently downsized. These seem to be mostly, yeah. Here's about the size it would have been like hit life,
Jeez.
which is
Wow.
still too big to have a mouth like that. Whoop.
Right.
Stop it, Google. Ah! Google's freaking out. Very cool critter though.
Yeah.
It does have
No,
armor.
that's. It does. It does. It is a very heavily armored fish. Oh wow. You know, we had these. I was in Brazil once, and they had in the rivers. They had these crazy plated armor fish.
Arapaima.
No, but it could be. I don't know, but I that's probably right. They're very tasty. That's what I know.
That's very
Yum.
Yeah, they're very good.
Tasty.
Yeah, delicious. So, all right.
Tell me if my audio is okay. For some reason, it told me my audio is not working, but
Oh, really?
No,
It
'cause he
sounds
doesn't,
okay
it
to
doesn't
me.
exist, as far as we know. Anyway, verse 15, his rows of scales are his pride. So it's a scaly creature. It's a reptile. Verse 16, one is so near another that no air can come between them. Verse 22, strength dwells in his neck, and sorrow dances before him. So that made me think of a long-necked creature like these plesiosaurs, like an elasmosaurus, which had a really long neck. But it was an ocean-dwelling creature. Verse 25, when he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. Apparently, these creatures could come out. They could raise themselves up, come out. Maybe not come up on the land, but come very close to it. And it was very terrifying for people.
Like
this crap.
hold on, like the Loch Ness monster,
ooh,
right?
Oh god.
Nessie.
I'm sorry.
Don't count Nessie out.
It's okay. It's bound to come up.
We don't have to.
It would be really cool if a plesiosaur was alive in the modern day. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how well it would do in a lock. We do have plesiosaurs that seem to have been cold water adapted, but they were like specialists.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I guess let's press play.
They're beside themselves. Verse 33, on earth there is nothing like him which is made without fear. Amazing creature. And again, in some Bibles, in the footnotes, it'll say Leviathan, possibly a crocodile. The description doesn't fit, right? When he raises himself up, the crocodile can't raise himself up. He can't more than a foot off the ground because of that sprawling gait.
But he's
But they do.
assuming that's what it means by raise itself up. Maybe it just means it raises itself up out of the water.
Right.
But also they do. They jump up at you. They lunge.
Jeez,
They're
really?
they're fast as F boy.
That
Faster than you realize.
wow. I live in Canada. We don't have them. So I'll take your guys' word for it.
Very cool.
Don't walk your
animals,
dog
very
near the water.
scary
That's all I gotta
animals.
say.
Right? In fact, I didn't read all the verses. Some of them indicate that sparks leap out of his mouth, smoke goes out of his nostrils. So it's not just a dragon; it's a fire-breathing dragon. And that's where the critics really, try to make fun of us. Well, you believe in fire-breathing dragons, and then my question is, why not?
Yes, yes. Oh my God, yes. I mean, yes. You deserve to be made fun of if you're taking this seriously in terms of like real life. I like. Help me out. What? Yes.
Yeah, exactly, Kip. What he said.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
okay, what do you need to breathe fire? And not hot steam like a bombardier beetle, which they're gonna bring up. How do you do fire? Let alone,
Well, I think you
correct
need
me if
some
I'm
kind of
wrong,
gas,
Kip,
right? You
doesn't the
need like
description of Behemoth say there are like crackles of electricity? Like, does it say
Yeah,
that
it's
when it breathes?
yeah. Yeah, that's in there.
Okay, if you want to breathe fire, you need fuel, probably an accelerant, something to push it out, something to ignite it, and something to prevent you from cooking yourself. That's a lot of things you have to evolve in tandem. No.
No.
You're saying
like,
it's not possible?
No, it's not. Let's see the most, or some of the most biologically plausible things you could use. Maybe methane. Like, creatures do produce methane. They burp methane. Cows do that all the time. But you need a way to light it. Probably easiest way to do that is to have metal in your teeth. Metal in your teeth to make sparks. That's something we only really see in rodents. At least
What
in
about
any
static
Wait, what?
electricity?
A lot of rodents have iron deposited in their teeth. That's why they're orange. It makes them more resilient to grinding.
But they can't. They can't. That's not. There's no way of. No, exactly. I'm sorry. See, I'm a dummy. I don't know anything. So
especially if it's in your
yeah.
mouth, it's going to be wet. Which no.
But have
Then
you
have to
ever
have a way
been,
to force it out.
yeah,
And not
but
cook
have you ever
yourself.
seen the certs where you bite the certs in the dark and it does like make a little flash, a little light? What
Where
if
you
they're
bite
What?
eating something? Yeah, like the little certs with the little dots in them. If you chew it in the dark, it will. I swear to God, I did it one time and I did it. I
Really?
swear to. I'm gonna
No
have
way.
to retry it now because maybe I'm lying to myself and I was high or something. So
But that's not.
I will do some research.
I've never heard of that before. I'm sorry.
That doesn't necessarily have to be a spark, though, either, right? Like that could just be like luminescence is not like
Right, no,
phosphorus
it's not
or
an actual spark, but if he's just
yeah.
describing something like a cedar tree that waves, maybe this is just,
Sure.
he's saying fire,
Right,
but
something
it's
like
just a
that.
little- I don't know.
Somebody, yeah.
Sorry,
But
guys, I went.
that would have to be in the fire. And
Yes.
okay, can living things create electricity? Yes. Not very much though. And they can't project it into the air.
God.
It's none of it is biologically possible is the big thing here. Like, could it be a fantastical alligator like snorting out air as it comes up to breathe and it looks all
Sure.
pretty and yellow and whatever in
Right.
the sunlight? Yeah, maybe. It's got actual fire and lightning. And they insist it has to be actual fire and lightning.
It's so crazy. It really is just so crazy. Can you say something though to just maybe say a little bit more about, because I've heard this, right, about the bombardier beetle. Can you what's going on there? Also, I wondered too, is some of this like an issue of scale? Is that at all a factor in this?
So I will say scale is going to be a part of it. Insects are small, And when you're small, it's a lot easier to make crazy things happen than it is when you're huge.
Oh, quantum.
Just
Sorry.
in general. Bugs
Oh,
get
boy.
away with a lot of shit because they're so tiny.
Right.
What the beetle does is they have, I believe it's 2 different fluids in their abdomen, which, when ejected and mixed in the air, undergo a sudden exothermic reaction. It releases a blast of heat. And it's basically just 2 chemicals that mix when it meets air, and it makes steam. Steam is not fire, and it's very unlikely to have electricity coursing. And again, this is a small beetle. This is not a gigantic leviathan.
Yeah.
True.
Or plesiosaur. That's the other thing here, right? He wants it to be a plesiosaur. A fire-breathing plesiosaur. It sounds like, I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
But no. Yes, that's what he wants it to be. And just
So what?
no.
What would they have a use for fire though in the water?
Make pretty bubbles.
Hot tub, anybody?
Yeah.
That's all I can come up with.
It's just wild. It's crazy.
Far-fetched.
Creationists say the darndest things.
They do. They really do. Press play. We'll watch a little bit more here.
Scientific reason why that can't happen, because there are creatures that exist today that do very nearly that. There's a bombardier beetle, a little beetle that mixes a couple of chemicals in its abdomen along with a catalyst, and it's able to produce a hot spray from predators. There's no reason why God couldn't do that same thing with a larger animal, right? He's already done it with an insect.
Why not, guys?
What about
Now that you say that, right? Like now that you've said that you can do crazy things with insects, for him to say that now, it's literally,
Yeah.
it's just like
Right out of a book.
Like, an ant can lift 10 times its size.
yeah,
An
right,
ant weighs less than half a gram.
exactly.
Can't
I like it. It's they should listen to you. These guys,
No,
they
they
really
won't.
should.
They won't.
They won't.
Well, that is a problem.
flying reptiles? The Bible mentions them. Yes, it does.
Oh.
In Isaiah 14:29, it talks about a fiery flying serpent. Serpent would be the ancient word for reptile, but it's a flying reptile. Mentioned again in Isaiah 30, verse 6. Isn't that fascinating? So they were familiar with flying reptiles. It's not something that went extinct millions of years ago. The Israelites apparently saw them. So it's interesting to do a word study on this, because there's other possible references as well in the scriptures, including the time when the Israelites were plagued with the serpents.
Yeah.
Now, those could have been terrestrial serpents, but there's some evidence that they were these flying serpents.
Yeah, there were flying serpents in the desert.
Yeah, that's true, actually, and that's part of how there's a lot of crazy shit going on in like stories from the Bible, stories about the Exodus and things like that too. So, but I have to say a few things about this, because the word that he's talking about, and it how typical that he didn't actually say it. Sex worker's favorite dinosaur is the plesiosaur. Very nice.
Heavy on the O.
Bad.
Yeah. Oh.
Bad.
Oh.
So, the word that he is referring to here is saraf, and it most often occurs in the plural. And this might sound familiar. Let me know if it does. It's seraphim or seraphim. I expect Ryan recognizes this word. I don't know if you do, Doc Dino.
I've heard the term. Doesn't it refer to a kind of angel?
There is
Yes.
the seraphim angel.
Yes. So these are, I don't like the term angel, but it's like you're forgiven. It's okay.
Sorry.
Because divine beings, cosmic beings, attendants of the gods in their heavenly courts. That's what these things are. They are like fiery burning serpents. So it's not like it's not like they're on fire. They're literally on fire. Like they're conflagrating. That's their whole thing. Is they fly and they're on fire. So like no, there's no animal, none. And I would like to know if Jason Lyle thinks that that there were actual like conflagrating fires, like conflagrating flying snakes, because they're serpentine. Conflagrating flying snakes were real animals that lived on the earth. Really? Is that what you think, Jason Lyle? Because that's what these things are. And I'll just say, in the Book of Numbers, there is a story of the Israelites wandering in the desert and getting Yahweh very upset. We have no idea what happened. It's just suddenly he's angry. Like God, he does this sometimes, he's mad. He's big mad. And
Big
so he
out.
unleashes a plague of these fiery flying snakes to kill people. And so they start killing everybody. And
Oh my gosh.
and then the way they fix it, the cure is great.
An idol.
Yes. Make a snake, like make a snake idol out of bronze and mount it on a stick, and anybody who looks at it is going to be cured. This, all your snake bites and burns, you're going to be fine, so long as you just look at the idol. And the idol, it then makes an appearance later in the text and is called Nehushtan, which would, and this is it says that there's an actual idol, the snake, bronze snake idol that was in the temple of Yahweh, that Hezekiah was charged with getting rid of. God said, get rid of, because apparently people were had this snake god thing in there in the temple of Yahweh. So
Why not?
Yeah. So fiery flying snakes. That's what these
I
are.
like it. I'm into it.
Sounds pretty
Because I
cool.
always wondered how they couldn't avoid snakes, right? But they had to put one on a bronze bowl, right, and look at it to be healed. Remember that account?
There you go.
Anyway, could have been a combination.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, there you go.
Terrestrial snakes and flying
Put the bronze snake.
serpents, but they use the same word there, seraph, in some instances.
Oh, he did say
So yes, the Bible knew about flying reptiles as well. Were dinosaurs on Noah's Ark then? That's the question that people ask. And then, of course, would they fit?
Wow.
Would be the follow-up.
We're at like 2 hours and 30 minutes, so maybe we should stop it there. But I don't know. Do you have anything to say or to add to our time together, Doc Dino?
Well, I will say I have had fun. Lyle is a interesting person. There's a lot more in this video that we probably could cover sometime if you want to.
I would love.
So much.
I was just gonna say, this really has been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you and doing this, and this is like interdisciplinary studies, right?
Yeah.
Totally is. So this has been great, and I do think that you should come back, and we should do some more of this shit sometime. I think that would
I'd
be
be happy to.
Yeah.
I
that'd be
followed
lots
your
of fun.
channel, Doc.
Yes. I'm pretty sure it is linked in the
tagged him.
description. Yeah,
Mhm.
I tagged you. So
And in the title of the stream, yes.
that's right. So So tell us, like, talk to us about why people should go and watch your channel, and tell us a little bit too about what you're doing now as well, because I think you're undergoing some things are happening with you.
Sure, I can talk about that. I like to debunk creationists a lot. I have my own show on my channel that I have finally brought back from the grave, and I'm being consistent with, called Creation Science Theater, where we just talk about creationists doing dumb stuff with science. I don't have any official co-host or anything. I invite people, and if they show up, they show up. Or sometimes I make it an open theater, and I allow the audience to join. But we usually cover a variety of topics, ranging from geology to dinosaurs to medicine. Sometimes we've done crystal woo stuff before. Just bad science that people misuse to make money is
You're
basically
about
what I heard.
promoting good science.
I try to, and I try to share lots of fun dino and animal facts, as you've seen here.
Yeah.
And I am always happy to learn too. And yes, it was inspired by Mystery Science. God, that show. Yes, I can't remember the title right now, but yes, it was inspired by that.
Mystery Science Theater.
Yes,
Excellent.
Mystery Science Theater.
There we go. Mind
And I
Phaser is
also
subscribed.
thank you. I also do videos. Sometimes I'm currently working on a review of the Dinosaurs, which you brought up earlier. I already did episode 1. I'm going to be doing episode 2.
Oh, cool. I'm going to check that out.
Nice. Awesome. You got
Yeah.
some subs. Go do it, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you go
Lovely.
sub.
And I will be streaming tomorrow and Sunday. I am probably going to be joining Dapper for a bit. I have a
Wow.
Really?
little
Double
presentation
dino?
on- Yeah, Dapper Dino. I have a presentation on Mark Armitage and his Triceratops that I need to finish.
Cool.
Is that on his channel?
Yes. I don't know if he has it up yet, but it will be on his channel soon.
Okay. I think most people here know how to find Dapper. I'll be there tomorrow, by the way, on his channel. Now, before you go, I'm sorry I forgot about this. If you could please tell us about these cool pictures that you sent me here. Can I zoom in
Sure, I
on that?
can.
Yeah.
Might be best to start from image 3 rather than this one.
So that's number 1, 2, that one?
3. Yes.
Okay.
So this is a fossil tooth that I discovered out in Wyoming on public land, so I couldn't collect it, but I did report it.
Oh, wow.
This is the tooth of a meat-eating dinosaur about the size of T-Rex.
Wow.
Or
Really?
at least part of it.
Wow.
It's broken, but it's part of it. It's from a dinosaur called Acrocanthosaurus.
Wow.
The other photos the first 2 photos are the same tooth from different angles. So
Are those
this is a sideways
serrations?
view.
Like, is that a
Yes, they
serrated
are.
edge? That's
wow.
wild.
It is serrated like a
Crazy.
snake. Yeah, if
I'm
you go to
just-
the left, that's how
So-
thin it is. It's shaped like a steak knife.
Holy cow.
Snap. I see what you mean now. It literally is like
Yeah,
Pointed
like
like
knives
that,
in your
yeah.
mouth.
wowsies.
Yeah,
Wow.
huge mouthful.
Imagine
guys.
biting
And
your tongue or your cheek accidentally like that. I already do it enough
that's
with my
so
little teeth and it
much.
hurts. Take a whole
man.
chunk out of your cheek.
Uh,
Wowsies. That's incredible.
And then that's the tooth from above. So that's what the cross section looks like.
Wow. That's cool.
Then
So
go ahead.
no, I was so this is like the front part of the tooth, like the part that faces forward, I'm assuming is that
This is the top of the tooth. The tip
Yeah.
of the tooth is broken off.
yeah.
And then
Actually, I think
start
this is the
part
bottom.
facing
That's
in.
bad. So actually, I can share an image of what the complete skull would look like here.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I'm just sharing that with you now
All right.
on StreamYards.
I'll take that
Go ahead.
off. There we go. Oh,
So
neat.
this is what the complete skull would look like.
Dang.
This is probably one of the lower bottom teeth here. So they're pointed up like this and slightly recurved,
Boy.
but they have those big serrations on them. This skull is like
What?
4.5 feet long, by the way. This is Fran, is her name.
Wow. Beautiful.
Because
Keep
paleontologists
What
love to
is
give
it?
nicknames. It's called an Acrocanthosaurus.
Okay.
This one is at the North Carolina Museum.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is a picture you took, or is this?
No, this is
this
on
is just
Google.
one from the. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, this is a skull
All right,
mount.
but okay. I think
then-
you. Oh,
Good.
whoops! Shoot.
I was gonna say the fourth image I shared with you
Damn
is
it.
another one of those teeth that
I'm
I
just
found
trying to get a
in the rock.
back.
Yeah.
I'm a professional streamer. I promise.
It's all right.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so I pulled up this one next.
You're not showing it.
Oh shit! See, look at what a professional streamer I am. So I pulled up
It's all
this
right.
one next.
There it is. So that's one I found embedded in the rock still. You can still see the serrations on it, and there's a little
Oh, you
pencil
can.
scale.
Look at that.
And then the last
Man,
image
that's cool.
are some tyrannosaur teeth that I found.
Oh
Teeth
wow!
fragments.
Look at the freaking ridges on that motherfucker. Wow.
Yeah, you can see the serrations.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's hard to see from this picture, but they are small fragments that are very wide. So the other one was like steak knives,
Yes.
These are-
Right. Wow.
Ooh.
and there's only 2 dinosaurs from the rock formation I found these that have teeth like this. And that is T-Rex and T-Rex's smaller cousin.
So cool.
That is so cool.
It
Man.
is. Just quickly, have you heard any issues with like the privatization of like buying dinosaur bones? I saw like something came across my FYP, and I didn't look into it at all, but they were just saying a lot of rich people buying up and having their own like personal collections and like museums not, I guess, I don't know, not getting, because I guess normally like they would usually like a rich person would like have a little plaque and then dedicate this dino, but now they're kind of just putting them in their own homes. Allegedly.
Yeah, me and every other paleontologist I've talked to hates it.
Yeah.
So the thing about paleontology, if your fossil is not publicly available, if it is privately owned, there's only so much you can do with it, because it is very hard for people. It's usually very hard for people to double check like your measurements or find new measurements or analyze the fossil at all if it's in a private collection. Because if it's in a private collection, the owner can do whatever they want with it. They can blow it up for all they care. So you always want fossils, especially good fossils, to go to a public repository.
And it's where you know they're getting taken care of, where they know how they need to be kept, and I don't know any of that, but a private person, I have no idea how much they really care.
Yeah, I mean, fossils in private collections get roughed up all the time. They don't get taken care of. Once you get a fossil out of the ground, we coat our fossils with a couple different chemicals to help prevent them from drying out too much and crumbling into literal dust, which is something that can happen. But private collectors don't always know that. Or if they break a bone, they don't take care of it. It's
disappointing.
It's a lot. A lot of paleontologists aren't thrilled about, especially because some of them are going for absurd price tags, like absurd price tags. And that's going to drive a massive incentive for private markets and for, well, private markets and the black market. Like, people will just be taking fossils from private lands and selling them. And especially when they do that, a lot of those kinds of fossil sellers, they don't take a lot of notes. They don't like to tell you where their sites are. So you lose all of the context for your fossils.
Wow.
And when you lose the context, it's just a bone.
Yeah. Right. Without at least that
Yeah.
surrounding evidence that you were like talking about before, that you used to date and do all that assessment, that's all that's gone.
Like you can maybe say, oh, that's from a meat-eating dinosaur. Oh, that's a T-Rex tooth. And teeth are kind of a special case because there's a crud ton of teeth. But for most fossils, there's only so many. And if you don't know where it came from, you lose out on a lot of really important data.
Yeah.
A
That's
lot of
shame.
important data.
I'm glad I asked. Thank you for telling me that. Sorry about that, Dr. Kip. I just
No. It's
now I
a
know.
very good
I wasn't
question,
sure if it was
and it's
bull
something
crap
like
or what.
I guess I might as well say, if you find a fossil, report it to your local Bureau of Land Management office. You can find those online. They're stationed all over the country. They will know the process to report the fossil and maybe get it put in a museum. And if it does get put in a museum, a lot of museums will put your name on the plaque
There
as
you
the
go.
discoverer.
See?
Like
very
this was found by so and so and their daughter on this day. Like stuff like that. So you get credit. It goes in the notes.
That's far better
Yes,
than
the
owning it.
provenance of the fossils.
Yeah, and see, and Ryan, you should not apologize, because this is something that I have a little bit of experience with in my own field as well, and it's a major major issue, and I'm in alignment with Doc Dino here. I mean, and what scholars are like, you can't just take shit, right? Like culture, from my perspective, from an anthropological perspective, cultural heritage is super, super important. And as soon as you, geez, wow, thank you, Primordial Puggles, for the very generous 100 Australian dollars super chat. Wow, you guys have been amazing today. So honestly, this is turning out to be the best week ever. But it really is. It really is. So yeah, it's super important, and maybe this just goes across the board. When you find stuff on the ground, just let someone know who knows what to do with it. That's what you should do. And it doesn't matter what it is, an arrowhead or a piece of pottery or a bone of an extinct animal. It's we are impoverished by the removal of these things inappropriately.
Yeah.
So
and I will say, like the fossils I've shown, like they're all either super common things, like this is a scrap of petrified wood, or like they are just scraps, like stuff that's a broken mess that you can barely tell even what it is. Like they're not valuable specimens,
right?
But you wouldn't know, as the everyday person, you wouldn't know unless you let the proper authority know.
Yeah, just report it with photos. If you have nothing else, put your foot next to it. That gives us a rough idea.
I hate when people do that, when they take a picture and they don't like put like a dime or something. Like I don't know how big that is. Like
some scaling.
Yeah, some scale for me.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Doc Dino, and everybody. Make sure you check them out on Dapper's channel tomorrow. And you said you're streaming when?
Or I'm streaming on my channel tomorrow. I'm gonna be with Dapper on Sunday.
Right, yes, sorry, it's Friday. So yeah, check out Doc Dino on his channel, which is tagged in the description. That is tomorrow, and then on Dapper Dinosaurs.
Those could be a wide range of sizes, so Not the best.
Listen, if you're gonna send me a dick pic, if it's next to a dinosaur bone, I don't know how offended I'd be. I'm just
2 bones for the price of 1.
Oh, God damn it.
I know my mom was watching this stream earlier. I hope she's not here now.
Oh, help. Oh, God.
This show is often not what we expect it's going to be. So I'm just gonna say that. All right. So yes, check those things out, everybody. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I will be on Dapper Dinosaurs channel at noon Pacific, 3:00 Eastern, and then I am back here in the evening for another episode of Budget Scripture Saturday. At 10:00 Eastern, 7:00 Pacific, I'll be back with my co-hosts Nitty and Dr. Tapioca Weasel, and we are going to look at some crazy Bible shit on YouTube and bad AI, almost certainly. And I'm going to drink a lot, so come and check that out. It's always fun.
That makes it better.
Always fun. Yeah, it sure does. So awesome. Well, it's yeah, we're getting close to about 3 hours, so I think we're just gonna wrap it up. And I'll say, yeah, thanks again. This was awesome. We will do this again. I had fun. So just looking for the right outro here. Because this is something that I struggle with on a regular basis. So here we go. All right. Everyone, and yes, I don't know, maybe you guys need to do a show together. Seriously.
Calm down.
Sure.
So everyone, be good, stay safe, and as always, ha tikva.